I have your attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house for another awesome live show, the Monster Show today. We're going to be covering a lot of really alpha stuff today. I mean, this is big stuff. We're going to be covering from strategy to stretch to Bitmine immersion to BMNR. We're going to cover all the big updates for Bitcoin and Ethereum digital asset treasuries. We're going to get into obviously LibertySwap. Launching some more alpha products on Pulse Chain, and we're going to talk about that. Already some early adoption for that, and we're going to check out all the charts and reactions to all this news. Obviously, we've got the big countdown from Trump versus Iran, and we're going to check that out a little bit at the beginning and cover all the markets, as you guys know. And then we're going to end on the big weekly monster thread number 48, covering all the hottest news on Pulse Chain and some of the very best projects as well. Hope you guys look forward to it. It's going to be pretty exciting. If you guys haven't subscribed on the way in, don't forget to smash the subscribe button. We're streaming on 3 YouTube channels, The Crypto Night Show, Superman Crypto, and Pulse Chain X. And also we're streaming on the X platform as well. So hit the follow button at the top and hit the bell for daily videos. That's what we're doing. The largest Pulse Chain influencer doing daily shows. So, get in there on the action. That's for sure. All right, so let's get straight into it. Now, if you guys haven't joined up the Strategy Club, if you want all the latest intel as I'm researching the market, I posted in there. So it's a great insights into where everything's going. Definitely get in there. You've got the QR code below, just over $1 a day to join up. So fantastic value there. And also you can find the links in the video description and on X here at the top. So pretty cool. You'll go through the Whoop store, sign up, get a link, and then you'll end up in the private Strategy Club in our Discord. Awesome stuff there. Now, if you just want to become a Discord member, that's $12.50 a month, so you can sign up to that as well. All right, with all the admin out of the way, let's get into the markets. And don't forget to get into the comments. You guys know I love it when people get engaged, so definitely get in on there. And don't forget to repost the show on X. That really helps a lot there. It just takes a second to hit the repost button. So what do we got here? We've got the stock market, and of course, the results for Monday. Wall Street futures ticked down ahead of Trump's Strait of Hormuz deadline, and there's a lot of fun and games being played at this stage, right? So obviously Trump's managed to destroy a large amount of the Iranian military that at least is accessible, and some of it inaccessible. So that's going pretty well. So there's not a lot left. We're seeing a lot more of the command leaders be destroyed. I think we just had the head of the intelligence agency, which was a very key player, get killed, as well as another large ranking officer as well that was there at the same time. So they're still on the hunting the leaders, still on the hunting and destroy. And we also saw a big command base get it blown up as well, deep underground. So, it's still going forward, and, it's going to be probably a couple of weeks of this going on to really make sure that Iranians really can't project power and they have limited options. So that's kind of where we are right now. So we've got Wall Street futures ticked down. Let's have a look at the results from Monday. We had the Dow Jones up 0.36%, 165 points to 46,669 on the old Dow Jones. Now, if we have a look over the last month, just give an idea of that, and we can see that we're all the way up here at 48,100. We've come all the way down to 45. So think about that. It's about 3,000 points, and now we're back up here at 46,600. So we're only about maybe 1,500 points below. So we're getting there. And there's a lot of opportunity to pick up a lot of the quality stocks that have been discounted over this period. Now, obviously, you've got to take into account the volatility and the risk at the moment. But S&P 500 at the moment is up almost 0.5%, 29 points to 6,600. And likewise, at the beginning of the month there on the 10th of March, it was 6,800. We're now at 6,600, so it's down 200 points. We did get all the way down at 6,300. And so going from 68 to 63, that's 500 points. We've already recovered about 300 points already. NASDAQ, with all the tech companies in it, is up over 0.5%, 117 points to almost 22,000. We can see a month ago we're sitting at 22,845, so we're down about 850 points. And we have got even further down. We got down to 20,770. So what's that at the moment? So 28. It's 18, isn't it? So about 1,600 points or so, and we're bounced back from there. So we're actually not looking too bad, are we? And so the market's holding up pretty resilient. Now, remember, the US market is the one that really benefits, net exporter of oil and stuff, and of course it's the winning trade, right? So all the left-wing governments that have gone with net zero, obviously we all know it's terrible policies, but these ones are the ones that end up having to come to America and start buying up, and that includes Asia and other countries buying up American oil. So they are the winner here, regardless of the Strait of Hormuz. It's all the other users that don't have good friendliness with Iran that have the problem. So most of the oil going through Strait of Hormuz is Russia, India. So those have reasonable relationships with Iran. Obviously, China working with Iran pretty closely, and then we have all Europeans and other countries, Japan, etc., that need to get oil. Obviously, Japan can go to the US. Japan is different from the other countries because it's always been a importing country of resources, because it doesn't have a lot of resources. It has stuff off the coast and the deep sands and things like that, but has always been in it. And so they have a 200-day reserve, unlike a lot of the leftist Western countries. They only have 30 to 60 days, something like that, and it runs down pretty quick. So that is where we are right now on the old market. So US, they're winning out of that. And of course, the US dollar at the moment is at 99.96. Remember, it was 108 when Trump came in. That is only up slightly today. The VIX, which is the volatile index, is up 1% at 24 points. So remember, over the last month, we've had some big spikes up to 33, up over 30 a couple of times. That is the really risk-off phase, right? And they have come back down into 24 more reasonable rates there as well. So kind of cool. All right, so let's have a look at the commodities and see how they're faring. West Texas and Brent oil are still elevated. Remember, these are based on world prices, although there are different prices in the world. So if you go to Asia, different oil prices. So we've got West Texas Brent oil there for the US. And the differences, have either supply chain differences in there and risk differences as well. So we got West Texas $115 at the moment, quite elevated at $2.70, even higher than Brent oil, which is at $111. Interesting enough. And over the last month, we've seen some interesting stuff happen there. We're basically back to where we were a month ago. We have been as low as $86. And if you look over the last year under the Trump period, look at that. We're all the way down around $61. And this is probably what's going to, we even got low, look at $55, $56. And this is probably what we're going to expect to see once something's happened. Either, there's been a real bashing, there's a change of regime, or some, peace deal's been made. So whatever ends up happening, and we'll see that all will just reverse, right? But at the moment, think of all those prices there. That's the value, that a lot of American exporters are getting on the global price. Not as easy around the rest of the world with different prices like in Asia, because they actually have some real supply issues, right? So the benefits and the profit line going to be different depending on where you are. Silver at the moment is at, let's have a look at Brent oil. So Brent oil at $111 right now. You can see that also pretty similar. Gold at the moment is down 2/3%, $31 to $4,652. We do see that coming off the top, right? Coming off the top, a bit of a rotation out. Is this a false high here? And will we get a bit of a bull trap here? And down we go. Is the rotation really starting to continue? That's what we're kind of expecting to happen. Silver at the moment is also down. You can see it peaked out, $115. This looks like it's rotating, doesn't it? It's had a second high and then a third high here. So very, very important where it goes from here. But likely this is being rolled over and rotated. So not gold are looking a bit better, but silver definitely on that third level now. So yeah, just take profits. Like I said, we expected to go to $75 to $125, and look, it's done that, hasn't it? It's done that. It's been up 115. So that range is pretty cool. And I did say start taking profits once it hits 75. If you recall, we've been looking at that for 2 years. It played out pretty much exactly as we talked about. All right. So and of course, what's it rotating into? Well, quite a bit of it. Not all of it, because not always the common actors playing gold and crypto. But likely they're going to rotate in crypto, right? Which we've already started to see a bit during this war time period. In fact, the last, during the war period, the best two of the top three best performing assets classes have been Ethereum and Bitcoin, right? So that's kind of where we're heading now. All right. So yeah, let's jump away from them. We've got a few little comments, I guess, to make. Iran rejects this ceasefire proposal. Trump deadline near, so that's I think it's tomorrow Eastern. Yeah, tomorrow Eastern, 8 p.m. I believe, Eastern time. Yeah. Investors focus remaining squarely on rapidly evolving developments in the Middle East, where diplomatic efforts to halt hostilities appear to be faltering. US-backed proposal developed with regional mediators, including Pakistan, Egypt, and Turkey, called for 45-day ceasefire and reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, a critical artery for global oil shipments. Now, we do see shipments going through the strait at the moment, and we've got a bit of a mixed bag. I think we saw a French one go through. Obviously, Chinese ones are going through, and others. So it's going to be interesting. Obviously, Israel and US not so much, but that they don't have that much. They're a net exporter from America, so they're looking set up pretty well. It's pretty much everybody else. A lot of the NATO countries that have the issue. However, Iran rejected the proposal, insisting instead of permanent end to the conflict. And this is where the comedy comes in, including binding agreements against future attacks. That's going to happen. They'll happen if they actually get rid of their nuclear program and stop killing innocent people around the world. Lifting of sanctions. Compensation is the real funny one. Compensation for war damages. You're at war. I don't think so. Now, obviously, we saw that in World War One, I should say, where Germany had war reparations to pay. Often people obviously calls that as one of the catalysts. And I think Adolf Hitler in his Mein Kampf also raised that issue as a big key catalyst for becoming powerful, Deutschland again. Trump, meanwhile, escalated rhetoric ahead of the deadline, warning that failure to comply by 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday could trigger extensive US strikes on Iranian infrastructure, including power plants and bridges. Now, the key thing about this, of course, bridges is probably quite reasonable. I think a lot of people can accept that. You can also divide and conquer the regime by stopping transport conversations, because remember, they're all scared of being killed from above. So you can do all that, and really they're only safe havens, these rocket cities, right? These or command and control centers under the ground. And those are what Israel and America will be hunting with the help of a lot of resistance movements and spies, Mossad spies inside Iran, which has been pretty damn successful. The Strait of Hormuz, which typically handles roughly 1/5 of the global oil flows, has remained disrupted amid the conflict, pushing crude prices obviously higher, as we just looked at. That being said, there have been ships going through over the last day or two. Now, on the positive, so that's the volatility. Now, typically, history has shown that the first sort of 10% of the wars where the market's correct, and then after that, they start rising up, right? They start rising up. And this is kind of what we're seeing here. So I think we're probably through the worst of it. This will depend, though, on the extent of the war. If it's, Trump obviously looking around about 6 weeks, we're getting up towards that. And, of course, whether it goes, 2-3 months, etc. And, of course, then people start, doing all sorts of things around that. So we'll keep watching that. Trump is a deal maker, and he's also someone that likes to do his what he does in his book, The Art of the Deal, and create confusion. And, of course, all the progressives and libtards, they hate that because they always come up with more nonsense like they always do. So keep a lookout for that. Trump will be playing look over here when he's actually doing something over here type strategies. And he's got some incredibly smart people around him helping to make that happen. Now, one of the big bullish catalysts for crypto, of course, is the ISM services index. We've been waiting for this to really start to fire, and this is heading in the right direction. So data on Monday showed the US service sector lost some momentum in March, but the Institute for Supply Management said non-manufacturing PMI fell to 54 from 56 in February, missing expectations of 54.8. But remember, anything over 50 is expansionary. So even though it's back a little bit, this is hyper bullish, and we're expecting this to really have a run from now on, right? We already saw that employment data come in, 178,000 jobs, they expected 60. So things are really, all that investment from last year, that 18 to 20 trillion, really starting to kick in. All that tax capital exemption, that is playing out as well. It's very, very exciting, and we're expecting actually people to be taken off guard, particularly in employment, by the benefits of AI. And this is not just like a .com 2000 bubble. This is actually real productivity improvements. But the big thing, it's actually replacing a ton of jobs, not just blue collar, but white collar jobs. And so it is going to be transformational. We know that a lot of these data star bases are pretty much just ramping up. Elon Musk is going into space with this technology. It is going to be a very, very big change over the next 10 years. This is quite a transformational stage. We're going to have AI and all the products. We're going to have humanoid AI robots running around. Mass production starts, if not the end of this year, next year. And so this is a whole new age for humanity. And we're calling it the intelligence age, right? But like I say, there are a lot of positives, but there are a ton of negatives with it, right? Because once you start doing that, the progressives who like to create new little categories of humans. They also will create new categories of humanoids as well. We've got to give human rights or humanoid rights to the robots. You know where they're going. They can't help themselves. They're pretty insane. But that's kind of where we are right now. The report pointed to a mixed macro backdrop with business activity slowing and employment weakening, even as demand indicators such as new orders stayed relatively firm. So keep a look out for that. I think things are looking pretty good. And don't forget, now we've got the ISM starting to move above 50 for a couple of months. We've also got monetary printing, another key catalyst for crypto as well, which we're going to look at later on. So that's some of the highlights there. Let's jump over into. Let's actually quickly go to the Fed meeting. Let's have a look at the Fed interest rates. Obviously, we've got fiscal policy, monetary policy. The one thing I didn't mention the other day in fiscal policy is that the federal budget deficit was down. I think was a federal budget deficit. Yeah, I think it was deficit. Was down dramatically, which we'll have to come back around and look at those key three things that Trump's been working on. And he's the first president to really work on them. And that is the trade deficit. Remember that, 1.2 trillion. The federal budget deficit, also around the same amount, 1.2 trillion. Was it closer to 2? Maybe it was closer to 2 trillion. And then, of course, we got the public debt as well, about 38 trillion, right? So he was working on all those three things. And he's got a couple of years to hit those out of the park. And so we've seen that all start to play out from this year and next year, indeed. Now, obviously, the big play is this. The big strategy is this, that Trump needs to get the war and Iranian nuclear risk issue dealt with once and for, not only for humanity, because you don't want terrorists running around with nuclear bombs. It's an amazing amount of liberals running around there thinking it's okay to leave Iran there creating nuclear bombs. But no one wants that. No one wants that. So it's great to deal with that now. And this is very important. So not only we can do that, but we're going to get dealt with within a certain window of time so that Trump's economy will boom at the southern border. We've already seen dramatic reductions in murders and everything else. And at the airports, you see all the differences. It really has had quite a change as millions of people are being thrown out of the country, particularly causing a lot of crime and hasslement. Even the people that may not cause crime, they go into your cities and your villages and they cause havoc in other ways, right? They cause havoc in other ways. So this is pretty cool. So not only will America be safer, it'll be more prosperous, and this will bode very well going into the midterms for November, and may very well flip it in strongly in the favor of Republicans. At the moment, it's still to the biases to the Democrats, so we're going to be looking at to flip at the moment on that. Senate, of course, is a bit of a toss-up there. We'll have another look at that too. So we've got 3 weeks and 1 day and 15 hours to go until the next Fed meeting on the 29th of April, and this is around monetary policy, right? So we've got a 98% chance, 98% expectations of a no change. We've got a 2.1% of a 25 basis point rise there. June is the last meeting. It's the second one. We've got 95% expecting no change, with only 2.2% expecting a 25 basis point cut. Remember, inflation's sitting around 3.1% on the high level if we're using PCE inflation data rather than CPI. CPI is, I think, around 2.7. But we've got interest rates all the way up at 3.75, which is crazy. We should at least, at the very minimum, have 50 basis point cut. And of course, what happens is Jerome Powell, he moved too late and then too fast, and now he's moving too slow, right? Uncertainty is there for sure. We get it. But actually, the economy is going along all guns. And we saw the employment numbers come in, 178,000. It was pretty crazy good. So, yeah, let's watch where all this goes. I think it's going to be pretty poor. But by the time we get to July, we get the new chairman in, and I think he's going to nomination next week, if I believe. And so we've got 29th of July here. We've got 94% expecting a no change again, given the way things are. But once we have a new chair, you could suddenly see things improve. We get more dovish monetary policy, and therefore interest rates are cut. And we may get a 25, 50 basis point cut starting to come in from the new chair. So keep a lookout for that. And that's going to fuel the crypto market run in the second half of the year. So very, very cool. That only leaves the midterms as the major issue for us in the second half of the year. All right, so that is the play right now on the stock market economic news. Let's jump over to crypto, the crypto majors. Let's do a refresh. So obviously we had good night on the stock market. Let's have a look at the crypto market. So we're at $2.423 trillion. We're down 1.2% right now. We got Bitcoin at number one. They're $68,474, down 1%. But we got bullish news around both Bitcoin and Ethereum. We're going to break that down. Ethereum at the moment down 1.5% at $2,100. Been pretty stubborn over that $2,000, hasn't it? And I've been pretty excited about that too. We got BNB is down 0.9% at just below $600. Number 5 is XRP, down 1.9% at $1.32. Solana at number 7, down 3.4%, just under $80 there. Tron down 0.8% at just 31.6 cents. Finally, we got Dogecoin there at number 10, down 2.7% at 9 cents. So there we go. Those are our top 10 majors. Let's have a look at the best performer. I guess it's the one that's down the least. Well, I guess it has to be Tron, 0.8% for the 24 hours. Over the last week, though, Ethereum has won the day. Remember that part because we're going to talk about that coming up, 3.4%. Now, if you didn't watch my show yesterday, we had a great breakdown of some of the bullish catalysts. We looked at the power law and the power law floor law and to see where Bitcoin prices might go. Obviously, we've already hit 60K about 2 months ago, and 53 was kind of the power law floor. And that's if we did do a little spike down for some reason, some catalyst, then that might be the bottom 53 and a bounce from there. Not expecting anything like some of the true bears out there, expecting 30, 40K, not expecting that. I mean, you can have a limit order down there, but just not expecting that to come and play. Power law has been pretty reliable, and so that's kind of where we're heading at the moment. And it does look like we've had a V recovery essentially on all the Ethereum dips. And so I think we're just getting ready for that V recovery into the second half of the year. So it's going to be pretty cool. Still got volatility into April, but excited about where we're heading after that. All right, so the best performer in the top 100, we got ALGO up 38%. We got Mincore up 19% for the week. We got Zcash up 11%. Render up 9.4%. Number 5 there, Just is up 7.9%. So those are our top performers. Top 5 in the top 100. Top 1,000 gainers at the moment. This moves around a lot, this leaderboard. In the top 1,000, we've got Redstone, Playouts, and Definitive there, all up 30, 50% on those ones. Trending overall, we've got BitGert, Pudgy Penguins, Tom Lee's favorite, and Bitcoin there trending at the moment overall. So that's the attention from people looking at CoinGecko. That is the majors. Let's zoom in on Bitcoin itself on Coinbase. We can see the yellow line is the 50-day moving average. The orange line is the 200-day. 50-day moving average at the moment is at 70,314. That has been drifting down. Remember, it was up at 72 not long ago. We got the 200-day moving at 83,949. So let's just round it up at $84,000. And at the moment, we are just below this 50-day moving average, just dropping off a little bit here at 68,549. But overnight, we got all the way up to 70,000 again. We hit it a couple of times, 70,378. So we've got a little bit of work to do to get over that 70,300 mark and out of this zone, basically, out of this. Hopefully, this is the bottom zone, right? All things equal, it's holding up pretty well during the Iranian conflict, as we say. Bitcoin and Ethereum, one of the top 3 categories performing since the beginning of the war about a month or so ago. So there we go. Let's jump into the bullish things that's helping to keep this price up. Well, one of those, of course, is the digital asset treasuries, and that is Strategy, the number one DAT, digital assets treasury there, DAT, in the in the Bitcoin space. Obviously, we do have big ETFs as well, also driving value in from corporates and institutions and rich individuals. And of course, we know that IBIT is the big one there. IBIT is still, based on last time I checked, still leading Strategy not by much though. I think it's down to about 15,000 is the difference, probably around there. I haven't looked at the IBIT one recently. I think we looked at the other day, but I can't remember the number. But it was pretty much around 15,000 differential, which means that Strategy is getting pretty close to flipping the old ETF DF IBIT. So we're going to keep a lookout for that. Maybe we'll cover that tomorrow. Strategy, this is the weekly update for Strategy. Hyper bullish updates, really, really exciting. We've got Strategy has acquired 4,871 Bitcoin for $330 million. So think about that. That's pretty awesome. Remember a couple of weeks ago, they disclosed a $23,000 buy, and the week before $18,000. So things are really starting to ramp up. And of course, the only dip was probably suppressed a little bit with the Iranian issues, with the volatility, but essentially are going very well indeed. So exciting stuff there. So they bought for 67,718 price per Bitcoin. Michael Saylor, we're loving these prices, by the way. As of the 5th of April 2026, Strategy now holds 766,970 Bitcoin. I believe that the IBIT ETF holds about 782,000, somewhere in that ballpark. So it's getting pretty close. Acquired for $58 billion, guys, at an average price of 75,644. So it's still out of the money by about 7,000 at the moment. But, that's unrealized losses. And, of course, the price closes up and they're well in the money, right? Well in the money there. So some pretty awesome stuff there from Strategy. Now, you can actually see, if you go to the paper here, I don't know if we go to the PDF version, but you can actually see in the disclosure, it's a Form 8K that you can actually, how have we got that big? Let's make this a bit bigger here. And you can actually see that they have got the split here. How did they raise the capital? Well, they sold some Stretch stock. So Stretch, remember, is the variable rate series. It's a Stretch preferred stock there, and it's not a common stock, right? The common stock for Strategy is MSTR, right? So that is the one that holds the actual Bitcoin. This is a debt instrument here, and it is starting to basically vampire. We love that word in crypto. Vampire the old traditional markets, the credit markets, the money markets, the bond markets. These are the markets where you earn maybe 2 to 4% on the money market, bond markets. And on the private credit markets, maybe up to 8.5%. But they have a lot of liquid issues and a lot of terms and condition problems as well. So this is a very, very big vampire effect here. Now, the Stretch there coming in pretty nice, raising $227 million during this period, which has been pretty exciting. So it's exciting, guys. It really is. So we've got March the 30th to the 31st there on this table. We also have some common stock issued. That is issued as well. And then we also obviously have in the period of 1st of April to 5th of April, so for the last week, we have another million shares there raised, $102 million for the Stretch debt product. And remember, that's not diluting, right? It shades off some of the yield that you might expect from Strategy growth versus Bitcoin, but it also is building up the Bitcoin store without diluting the stockholders, right? So that's kind of cool. So MSDR there they sold another 593 million common share stocks, and that's contributed 72 million in net proceeds there as well. So kind of cool. You can see 300 million from the first 2 days there, 174 million there as well. So what's that for almost $500 million there. So that's kind of cool. And you can actually see the actual purchases here. Bitcoin acquired, as we talked about, 4,871 for 330 million, average price 67,000, and that's their total holdings now as well. So that is their disclosure there. Very, very, very cool at the moment. All right, so for the 3 months there, they got unrealized losses as well, 14.46 billion, and some deferred tax benefit there too. All right, so kind of cool. All right, so let's jump away from that. That is hyper bullish, and it's getting even better, guys, because they have raised. Stretch was operating last night for Monday, so kicking in for the second week. Goes ex-dividend on the 15th, so the 14th would be the last day from memory, and it pays out dividend monthly, right? And the yield is 11.5%. So imagine earning 2 to 4% in the money market, bond markets, or the maybe 8%, 8.5% in the private credit markets with all the problems that go with that. And now you're earning 11.5%. So now that is variable, moves from month to month, but it's probably going to stay pretty elevated for a pretty long time. Obviously, if Bitcoin starts running away, they could reduce it, etc., because they won't need it as much. So, but basically, holding shares, you're going to earn a pretty good amount of money there. And obviously, Strategy has other debt products as well, both in the US and one in Europe as well. So they've got a lot of innovation going there. I'm sure we'll see more innovative products there, basically vampiring the credit markets. Remember, the credit markets from traditional markets are worth hundreds of trillions of dollars, and so just getting a fraction of that debt market, and then basically using that capital to fund Bitcoin and push the price up as well as the value of Strategy is just a absolute iPhone moment, we call it. It's a game changer, and it's just the early days. This the early couple of months. Launched last year, but really the interest rate differential is really driving up the early this month, last month, this month. So it's exciting to see the beginning of this, and we're all here at the beginning. So we can all look back in a year or 2 years and see how this changed the game. And of course, Michael Saylor there wanting to buy all the Bitcoin off the miners. They're doing about 450 Bitcoin a day. Obviously, we'll get in 2 years' time, we're going to have a Bitcoin halving again. That will go down to about 225 a day. You can see where this is going, guys. And think about the asset here. Bitcoin is the store value, the first crypto, and of course, it is the one that has got a fixed supply. So while the rest of the world is inflating the monetary supply and all that good stuff, Bitcoin is going to become increasingly seen as the fixed asset. There's only 1 million Bitcoin left to mine out by 2141, and of course, it's going to get rarer and rarer as we move forward here. It's just the inevitability is just huge, and now we've got this massive demand funnel coming from traditional debt markets. Think about that. And because we've basically got debt markets and equity markets, think about that. Obviously, there's other markets like property and foreign exchange, etc. But this is the debt market's ginormous, and it's being vampired there. And people are going to chase the yield, and it's massively over collateralized with the Bitcoin value. There are risks to it. Don't get me wrong. Like if Bitcoin went down a certain place, they might run out of payment amounts in 40 years or something. But it's these bad scenarios are pretty difficult to realize, and the upside scenarios are looking very promising indeed. So it's exciting time, guys. Really, this is super exciting. It is. That's kind of where we are right now. Strategy there issued, almost minted another, I think it was over 950 Bitcoin overnight. That's not in these statistics. It will show up at next week's statistics. So bring it on. We're also probably going to get, I think we get another, I think it's Form 10. I can't remember which one it is now, but we'll get an update around share assurance as well. So that'd be cool. All right, so that is a strategy. So the digital asset treasuries are playing a big role along with the ETFs and bringing in capital here, pushing up the value of Bitcoin, and it's providing a structural support, and it's exciting to see where we're going. So instead of going down 70%, we may only just go down 50, 60%. You see the idea? All right, so we've got Ethereum at the moment. We've got the similar chart set up here. We've got 50-day at 2143. That's $2,143. We've got the 200-day just popping below in orange there, just popping below 2,700 at 2692. We got the current price of 2,104. We're looking very good at the top of this consolidation range here, and we already had our big dip back on the 6th of February, all the way to 1742, just below Tom DeMark, the great market timer expectation of 1790, I think it was. So we're at the top of that range. We're not far away from the 50-day, I should say. So it's just a few percentage points to get there, and we're excited about where this is. And as I say, the Bitcoin and Ethereum have been two of the three top performers in the since the war has started. And obviously the war there, in the beginning, they had the biggest issue, and then you basically the stock market and everything else generally absorbs it and goes forward. The only difference would be, if there was some very unexpected events to happen, but I'm not really expecting that to happen. Remember that the Iranian conflict's quite different because 80 to 90% of the people hate the regime that's running the country. It's not like they're all together in the same band camp united around jihad against America and Israel. Most of the people are Persians. They have had a great history, and they just want to have a modern society, a free and prosperous. And they understand they've got to have a bit of a pain to get there. So keep a lookout for that. There will be a lot of issues around fractionalization in the Iranian society. That is where Iran's military is fighting a battle on two fronts, not just against the Americans and the Israelis, but also against their own people. And that will be increasingly so the longer this drags out, and the more that America and Israel kill off the leadership, particularly the radical ones, which is a lot of them, even the further down the line you go. And of course, then divide and conquer. They can take out bridges. They can start to, break down communications. They pretty much control the skies for the most part. Obviously, there's a few things they don't control, and that's the play. And of course, they've got to control the borders as well, right? So that's kind of where we are right now with that. We're going to keep a lookout. Tomorrow's a big day for the Trump announcement, so we'll see what happens there. Let's go to what's holding this up, right? This is holding up very well. well, digital asset treasury again. And we got the update from Bitmine Immersion, the number one treasury on Ethereum. There's probably 2 or 3 really active DATs on Bitcoin. Obviously, Strategy is the big one, and there's obviously Bitmine Immersion, the big one on Ethereum, and there's a couple of ones like SBET doing some stuff with DeFi on the old Ethereum as well. A lot of the other DATs question mark over what they're going to do in the future, whether they get bought out through OTC, whether they decide to be reactivate and acquire more. We'll see. Keep a lookout for the lows. So number one, this is the update here from Bitmine Immersion, just came out. We got Bitmine provided the latest holdings update for the April the 6th. The valuation at the time was 11.6 billion, so that was up from the previous week. In total crypto plus moonshots. Now, moonshots is a little bit misleading. It's kind of they allocate 5% to really good projects that may give them massive upside, 100x, 200x kind of returns. But they're actually strategic, right? It's actually strategic positioning. Think of a piece of a puzzle. They're trying to make a new kind of monetary order, new finance ecosystem for the world based on Ethereum, and they're pulling all these pieces of the puzzle together: AI, digital ID, financial wallets, mass retail through Mr. Beast Industries, institutional adoption, or bring that all together: tokenization, stable coins, peer-to-peer, AI bots. Bring it all together. That's what we're trying to do, and we're excited about where this is heading. Right, so it's going to be a lot of fun with that. So 198 Bitcoin at the moment is in the holdings. Obviously, Bitmine Immersion used to be an old Bitcoin miner. 200 million stake in Mr. Beast Industries. Keep a look out for that. That's going to be really key. That money essentially was used to buy the Leap app, which was a financial app. They say it's a banking app, but it's really not a fully banking app, kind of a finance app. But keep a look out for that. And that money essentially used for that. Mr. Beast Industries bought it. And Mr. Beast knows very well that he can't be doing all his videos for years and years. Now he's becoming going to use that leverage power to diversify not only into consumables and everything, but into finance. And that is the game changer. That's where you become rich. Mr. Beast often said, I spend almost all my money. I don't know how true that was, but he said, spend almost all my money on the videos themselves. So it's like he's just, spending what he's earning. And therefore he's really decided, actually, I'm going to leverage my massive influence. Remember, he gets about 1 in 3 people on the internet in the world watching his content every month. So he's now leveraging that very smart. And I think he's already gone to 5 billion in market cap with these raises. And of course, he's probably going to be the first trillion YouTuber or influencer. He's on obviously multiple platforms in the world, right? So we're looking for Mr. Beast Industries to be an IPO coming up. A lot of people talk about obviously SpaceX, which is the big IPO. People expecting about 1.7 trillion on that market expectation. And then we've got OpenAI. Now, obviously, Tom Lee's also got his foot in the door with that, which we'll talk about in a minute, with Orbs and WorldCoin. But OpenAI maybe 1.2 trillion market cap, what they're expecting on that. We'll see how those go. But of course, Beast Industries also potentially going to market as well. So suddenly you go from 5 billion, could be $1 trillion plus launch. And so that's another one that people are not talking about that we'll talk about. And this is how big this deal is. This is a big, big deal. You're getting not just Ethereum, the big Ethereum play, but you're getting a number of plays all mixed in. It is a diversified, basically, unicorn play. It is incredible. So we're going to keep a lookout for that. And of course, they're pulling the pieces together there. All right, so we got 200 million stake Mr. Beast, 92 million stake in ALGO Holdings, Orbs, and of course, that's also associated with WorldCoin, and of course, OpenAI positions as well. So they're going to be in there as well. Total cash, guys, still pretty awesome. 864 million. That peaked out at about 1.2 billion a couple of weeks ago. Now, obviously, they've been doing more investments since then. And here we are at $864 million still. So they can still buy hundreds and hundreds of thousands of ETH, probably, I don't know, maybe about 400,000. So pretty exciting there. Now, our next update there was BMNR got uplisted to the New York Stock Exchange Big Board. This is huge, guys. This is huge. So additionally, the company announced that it has been approved for uplisting to the New York Stock Exchange with the New York Stock Exchange from the New York Stock Exchange American. So it's gone to the main board now. As a result of the uplisting, the company's common stock will cease trading on the New York Stock Exchange American after the market close on April the 8th. So that's coming up in a day or so, and we'll commence the trading on the New York Stock Exchange effectively at the open of trading on April the 9th. So a couple of days away. The company's common stock will continue to trade under the symbol BMNR there. That is massive, guys. That is massive. So think about the recognition, first of all, for the Ethereum digital asset treasury. Unbelievable on the traditional markets. And this is how you take over, right? This is how you get influence and raise capital. It's going to open up even more doors from Tom Lee to raise capital. He's obviously extremely good at it at the moment. They're also still in the top 100 in terms of volume, in terms of doing about $1 billion in volume. So that's huge, and that means they can raise capital. But what this also means is that they will get picked up in more indexes. That brings in more demand. You can see how all this goes, and it just gets easier and easier there. So watch this. This is a key piece in the puzzle for value creation. Going to be massive. Oh my goodness me, indeed. And the next one, of course, we had some commentary about the war. So Tom Lee says the Iran war enters its 6th week, and this war remains the most important driver of global markets. ETH remains the second best performing asset since the start of the war, with 6.8% gain and outperforming the S&P 500 by 1,130 basis points. The ETH beating gold by 1,840 basis points demonstrates ETH is the wartime store of value. How about that? That's some statement. And at the moment, this war exerts more influence on risk markets than global central banks. And obviously, normal global central banks with monetary policy control, the amount of money in the society, the interest rates, the cost of capital. The war's got more influence at the moment than the central banks. Now, that's going to flip, I believe, by the time we get to obviously June, July. But that's pretty interesting here at the moment. Said Thomas Lee at the chairman there, the war has placed downward pressure on global markets, so it's impressive to see ETH as one of the few to rise on an absolute basis. And as I say, we got these wonderful catalysts, digital asset treasuries, I should say, ETFs, of course. We just saw, the BlackRock ETH-B coming out. That's going to have not just buying ETH, but actually buying ETH and staking it. ETH-A, which was just buying ETH, that got up to about $15 billion of value. I think it's currently around about half that at the moment. But the ETH-B is going to actually buy ETH and then stake it in the staking queue. And if you watched the show yesterday, we already saw that was going up incredibly, right? I think we're still got about 2.8 million in the queue right now. It takes about 50 days to go through the queue before you start earning that yield. But pretty exciting, right? Pretty exciting. So very, very cool stuff happening. This is in the kind of the bearish phase of the market. You can see we're winding up for a supply squeeze with massive demand coming in. It's going to be truly glorious, guys. So I know there's a bit of pain, but you can see that this is all being substantiated as we're working through these updates. This is a great harbinger as we expect ETH leadership to strengthen investors and eventually take cash off the sidelines. Do you like that? Do you like that? And of course, he's got his ear to the ground as well. Now, obviously, Tom Lee does his best to try and be accurate with things. Obviously, he's not, he doesn't know the exact future. He's just playing a lot of historical stuff, trying to extrapolate that. But he's generally pretty good. Now, on the side of actual capital, he has a lot more influence over that. And so he's very well connected both in the traditional markets and the blockchain, particularly Ethereum. And so he's one of the kingpins here. And now is becoming even bigger now that he is the chair of the number one digital asset treasury that is actually the main game in here as well. So kind of cool. Ethereum continues to benefit from the dual tailwinds of Wall Street tokenizing on the blockchain, and he's going to be a key player in making that happen. So keep a lookout for that theme. It's going to be really cool. And from agentic AI systems, that also is going to be key, right? Payment systems, AI to AI. We already see a lot of people making money out of that, right? They're pretty crazy. They're either listing AIs on marketplaces or they're using bots to make mad gains on crypto markets. We already see that playing out. Obviously, AI can't have an identity, but humans can. But how can you give an identity? Well, you can give it an Ethereum wallet, and you can have AIs trading to AIs, etc. You can see how all this booms, and of course, replacing all the value creation from humans through AI bots. So we're getting at a pretty crazy time, and it's going to be fun to watch there. Ethereum continues to benefit from the total worlds there. Increasingly needing public and neutral blockchains there. And you can see here on the chart that we had the MSCI World Energy doing pretty well, obviously, with oil prices up 30%. We had Ethereum up 11.3% during the beginning of the war, relative performance to the S&P 500 companies. And, of course, we had Bitcoin there as well, up 7%. So those are the leading there. We had energy, Ethereum, and Bitcoin leading the way there at the moment. So isn't that crazy? The worst performers were silver spot. And I did tell you the silver chart looks like it's rolling over. It's got the third lowest lower high now in play. Very critical point for silver. And then, of course, gold as well, down 7% as well. So some interesting things happening here in the markets right now. But, look at a lot of the other stuff. Real estate, negative. Materials, negative. Interestingly enough, they'll probably bounce back. But, yeah, pretty crazy stuff right now in that space. All right, so that is some of the stuff there. Let's have a look at the actual staking, how that's going on. Well, we didn't really have much of a move here for quite some time, between the 7th of February all the way to the 15th of March. So for about a month, we're stuck at about 3,040,000 ETH that was staked by Bitmine. And then we had a bit of an uplift on the 22nd to the 29th of March. We lifted up about another 100,000 ETH. Well, we had a big update this one. So the 5th of April, we jumped up another 90,000, is it? 102 to maybe over that 130,000 ETH or so, up higher there. So we're at 3.3 million ETH now. And remember, they've got about 4.8 million ETH. Now this says 4.5, but it's just a typo. They're just copying and stuff and not updating it. But look at the revenue, guys. Look at the revenue. Remember that Bitmine Emission has no debt. No debt, guys. It is battle tested. In other words, it can just ride up and down the ETH price, and it's buying up the ETH, right? So it's buying up the ETH for pretty good prices right now. So here we are. We've got the analyzed revenue at the moment is fully staked is going to be 282 million. Now, if they get to their 5%, which is owning 6 million ETH, they got 4.8 million ETH now. You can see at 4.8 million now. But if they get to 6 million, that's going to $355 million per year annualized revenue based on the current price of ETH. So if ETH goes from 2,000 to 10,000, you can times that by 5. That's going to be 1.5 billion a year. That makes it a pretty damn valuable company with no debt. They've got a small team running the thing, for goodness sake. The team will probably increase slightly with a lot of its pieces of the puzzle coming in, but that is amazing stuff. So going to make it a very valuable company indeed. Then we've got our buys week by week. So they've obviously jumped up there, calling the bottom essentially, and they're now starting to rise that up now. So the last 2 weeks we've been about 71,000 ETH, and they've still got $850 million or so to raise. Now, if the MNAV flips, if the MNAV at the moment the MNAV is below 1, but if the MNAV, which means the market cap's less than the net asset value of the holdings, if that flips to ahead of 1, they can then issue more shares. As long as it's accretive, right? That's their policy, to be accretive. So they can issue more shares and then buy more Ethereum, raise more cash for that. So that's where they'll be looking at. But they've still got 815 million at the moment. So they're still sitting in a very, very sweet, and they're starting to accumulate more, helping form the bottom of ETH as well as they're buying this up. So very cool stuff happening there. They've still got just over, maybe let's say about 1.2 million ETH to buy. And as I say, they could probably buy about 400,000 ETH now with the cash. And that would leave them, 800,000 ETH still to buy to get that 5%. And that's the cornerstone position there as well. BMNR currently reigns as the largest ETH treasury and largest holder of ETH in the world, second largest crypto treasury behind MicroStrategy. So very, very exciting times for BMR right now, particularly with the MNAV and the potential upside that you can see. It looks very promising. In fact, huge over the next, not only the next 2 years, but the next 10 years. As a new monetary system and finance system set up here, and pulling in all those pieces of the puzzle with Beast Industries and the rest of it. So pretty cool. According to the data as well, they're still trading very well. Now, liquidity is very key. So BMNR traded every average daily dollar volume of 987 billions. They got billion here, about million. It's pretty huge. 5-day average as of the April the 2nd here. So pretty cool on that one. So keep a look out for that. You can see the big numbers coming in here as well. So kind of cool in the top. So that's where you can raise capital, right? If you've got that sort of volume, very important. And of course, strategies are ahead of them a bit further down. So kind of cool. All right. So that is some of the bullish stuff, guys, coming. That is very cool. So keep a look out for that. We're looking for more bullishness. So we've got real leadership with ETFs expanding, moving into staking. We've got the digital asset treasuries really buying up Bitcoin and Ethereum. Strategies harvesting the debt markets, and Bitmine looking to harvest the equity markets in a big way. It's exciting times, guys. It is exciting times. So it's just so good, so good. All right, let's jump over into some of the mega things I talked about earlier about manufacturing indexes, how that's moved positive the last couple of months, even with a slight disappointing number for March. we're actually growing, and that's actually one of the key catalysts that we see as fun as basically fueling the crypto bull market ahead. So we're finally getting there. It had been pretty much for 2 years below, and we didn't see the banana curve, right? We didn't see the banana curve. We had a nice high for Bitcoin of 126,000. We had a nice little high of Ethereum at 49, getting resistance at 5K. No big out season really came. We didn't get the big Raoul Paul banana curve, and so we're missing that, right? Missing that. So people doubting the 4-year cycle. There are a couple of versions of the 4-year cycle. People doubting that essentially. And so, yeah, it's a pretty crazy time. Now, let's have a look at what we've got here. So you can see in the chart here, we had that banana part here. We had a banana part here back in 2017, 2021. We're expecting it here in essentially in 2025 or so, and really didn't get it. But now we're mapping over not only we've got manufacturing index going up, but we've also got the the money supply, right, is going up. So we've got these green areas here, global liquidity expansion, what people might call QE, quantitative easing. And so, we're holding back on the interest rates. It's a bit more hawkish at the moment, but we're expecting with the new chair, we may get a bit more of a dovish move. Therefore, interest rates come down, but money printing has to go up. The US government debts having to refinance all their debt, have to buy their own bonds. So that's kind of a monetary expansion there. And so, because they've got $38 trillion of debt. I can't remember how much is coming due this year. I think it's about a third of that maybe. And so that has to be refinanced. And of course, they can't refinance at the current interest rates. It's madness. So they got to manipulate the markets, buy the bonds, etc. So at the moment, we're expecting this bigger liquidity expansion. We know the M2 money supply is on the rise. And so we're expecting this big move here to rise up. So you can see liquidity rising here, and we got the rise in the Bitcoin, right? We're expecting that too, moving ahead here as well, and from now on. So we really are setting ourselves up. Manufacturing index, monetary expansion, presumably interest rate cuts by July, let's say, and it's game on, guys. It's game on. Therefore, the only really big risk that we can kind of foresee at the moment is the actual midterms. Now, this assumes, of course, other markets stay managed. We're talking about real estate markets, etc. But apart from that, this could all end up pretty nicely. And with the economy boom, employment boom, the economy is looking ripe. And of course, a lot of tax refunds coming through. That's going to spur demand. So the only way you can absorb demand, keep inflation low, is by expanding supply. And this is the one thing that a lot of liberals and progressive commentators miss, is that Trump has been focused on supply expansion. Starting from the inputs into the economy, oil and gas, mine or something? Can't remember the exact phrase, but this is a big deal, and this has also protected it from the Iranian conflict. It was a perfect time because they're a net exporter, so that's a win-win there. There's no more, strong being strangled by the oil supply stuff. So pretty cool. And not only that, we saw also the move of Venezuela, right? So getting one of the big reserves there as well. Also tidying up a lot of the geopolitics in the North and the South Americas, right? From China. China was basically using it as a invasion tool. Now, many people think that we're not at war with China. We're already at war with China, been at war with China for a long time. And so the Trump's pushing back on all this at the moment. Now, obviously, there's always geopolitical threats from China. They could attack cities while America's in Iran, all sorts of stuff. There's lots of things that could play out. We'll see how that goes. But at the moment, Trump has been constraining them quite nicely as well, because some of them had bad intentions. And we also saw a lot of leadership challenges in the last couple of months in China also. So, and their economy is pretty weak, guys. They publish like 3 or 4%, but there's probably flat to negative growth there, deflation happening in China. So they've got their own problems they're facing at the moment. And, quite a bit of their market's also being eaten up by Southeast Asian countries, some of the tigers and things like that as well. So, labor prices gone up, etc. So you got labor differentials. But look, we're about to have humanoid robots by the millions being minted from probably, if not this year, next year. The whole society is about to change. We've got AI changing it with productivity, getting rid of jobs. We've got humanoid robots coming to replace humans. They're going to have almost fully indexed hands, which Optimus 3 is going to have 21 out of 28 of our hand movements. That's a huge jump from Optimus 2, which only had about 7. And so the hands are getting very close to humans, which means they would be able to do a lot of what humans can do. Obviously not the full range, and maybe not some of the muddy stuff, but they're getting there, guys. and that's going to be really interesting as well. All right, so that's the play there. So we're looking forward to liquidity there expanding and getting us that banana part of the curve. OMG, and we're excited about where that might go. All right, we had a look at that yesterday, right? We're talking about Bitcoin getting up to 400,000 to 600,000 or beyond. It could be pretty crazy, and a lot of people calling 1 million by 2030. There's lots of different range of Bitcoin prices, but they're definitely on the power law looking very bullish indeed. Above 400k, etc. So look out for that. All right, so that is kind of the cool stuff there. That gets us into Pulse Chain. We're up to 55 minutes on the hours, guys. Man, we have been just dropping so much alpha. I hope you guys have been enjoying it, pulling it all together. Yesterday, we looked at different things with Power Curve. Today, we've looked at the updates from the digital asset treasuries. It really is a fun time on the Kryptonite Show, and I hope you guys are enjoying the content. Now, if you guys haven't joined our strategy club, definitely consider it. We're posting in a lot of research I don't cover on the live stream here, and you can get that in our strategy club. It's pretty awesome. Just over $1 a day to join up. We've got a great bunch of people in there as well. We also have a crypto helpline, a whole ton of resources. Really, really great place to be. So yeah, join up today. The link's in the video description and pinned to the top of our X profile for the Kryptonite Show. You can also hit the QR code there, and it will take you to the Whoop store, one of the major platforms for joining up to groups, and that will give you the link for the Discord Strategy Club. So we'll see you there. We've got Frank Whitehouse, bang, bang, Pulse Gang. Good to see you, Frank. Hope you're doing well too. And welcome. So Pulse Chain, guys. We're up to day 1,061. Can you believe it? 1,061. Pulse Chain there, of course, a full system state fork of Ethereum based on the 10th of May 2021. Launched a couple of days later on the 30th of May 2021. The SEC came after it on the 31st of July 2021. And sorry, what did I say? 2023, I should say. And then, of course, we defeated them well and truly with Richard Hart's A team of lawyers. And that was almost 2 years later on the 7th of July 2025 last year. And now here we are with Pulse Chain, looking at its all-time low, of course, with the Iranian conflict also impacting it. We've had a lot of black swan events, a lot of grey swan events on the old Pulse Chain with sacrifice dumpers, with protocol exploits or advantages taken, or what do you call it? Manipulations of other forms happen with maker and compound and things like that. So we had quite a few issues there. But have we reached the bottom? It feels kind of like it, but we kind of had this feeling before. But let's see. The charts are definitely looking good. Is this cheap enough now? Is this cheap enough now for even sacrifices to stop selling? Obviously fear makes people sell at massive losses. So we will see. And liquidity is pretty damn thin as well. So yeah, let's see. It could very much be close to it. And there's always going to be a bottom somewhere because Pulse Chain is growing, right? Pulse Chain wasn't growing, then yeah, you could say, it's going to be a dead chain. There are dead chains out there, right? Plenty of dead chains. But this one here, you're thinking like what? ETH remember that? ETH proof of work chains, things like that. But of course, Pulse Chain is a proof of stake chain, so it's pretty cool like that too. Let's have a look at the numbers though. 50705 at the moment. We're pretty much just under even at the moment for today at 50705. What a fantastic price to pick up Pulse right now. PulseX at the moment is at 50561, unbelievably cheap right now, and that's just slightly above 0.1% up. The buy and burn sitting at about 8.8% based on GoPulse numbers. Ink token at the moment is just below 32 cents. It is actually up 0.2%. We've got Hex on Pulse Chain, or PHEX, is at just below 0.13 of a penny. It is up almost 0.5%. And then we've got EHEX at the moment at 00062, the OG of Hex, one of the top 5 performing coins in 2021. So it is pretty exciting there, pretty cheap to pick up at the moment. And at the moment, one PHEX will get you 2.08 EHEX at the moment. So just 50-50 almost, let's say. And EHEX has been on a grind versus PHEX for about the last 7 months and headed up back to 50-50. Pretty cool. Let's go to the gas prices. We've got 645,000 beats. That's super low, actually. Normally around about 800,000. We're at 0.2 of a penny for a PulseX swap right now. The validators at the moment is at 50,454. We lost a couple of thousand. I think the Validator X and Vouch had some issues as well with holding some holders, I believe. And then we've got the bridge at the moment at 69,300,000. We're trying to get back over that 70 mil. That's kind of a brief target there. We're still holding a lot of stable coins. Apparently, a lot of these are just sitting on the sidelines, have been for a long time. Whose are they? I mean, are they Richard Hart's? Are they, whose are they? It's probably a combination of people, but certainly been sitting there doing not much, from what I can tell. We got DAI there as well. and then we've got ETH and USD Tether there. We've got 4 liquidity forks. We're expecting to have at least 2 more Vouch 369 multi-chain. So we're moving from Pulse Chain dedicated to Pulse Chain to multi-chain solutions. So we've got Vouch 369 coming from Fast Abdul. We're very excited about that. I believe it's in public testing or something like that. And then we've got potentially Coinwell as well coming down the line from Rack and Rochelle. So we're looking forward to that as well. They did take a lot of their links down from Gen. So I'm not sure what's happening now. I'm still trying to get an update on that. But we'll get there at the end. We'll get there at the end, I'm sure. So, yeah, that's coming down the line there. And then Coinaki was the other project that we're expecting. They're not really related to that, but we'll keep a lookout for Coinwell. So potentially 2 multi-chain liquidity forks there, based out of Pulse Chain, I would say. That's the one way to talk about it, right? So that is the marks there. Let's jump into the performance. We're talking about Vouch 369. We've got Vaults 369. Vault 369. My bad. We've got Fast Abdul in the house there. I'm here for the tech. He is indeed. He's bringing more tech to us. All right. So top performers today. Well, look at us, guys. We got Pulse Guy in the house. Another one of the PCock pools. I'm not sure of the associations between this team and LibertySwap. They got some of the same members, or are they just good friends, or what? But they, there's a couple of these projects that seem pretty closely aligned to LibertySwap. So that's at the top right now, up 32%, and they've been the first adopter, I think, of LibertySwap's API, right? So pretty cool. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But let's have a look at the Pulse ratio. There's a smaller pool. Actually, let's go to the PCock ratio. That's what it's tied into. And we can see the, let's go to the daily. And this is the daily. So we're coming off the bottom here in US dollar terms. We're at 000. We're at 000, 40 is 8,000. We're at 00013. Nice little gain there. But let's have a look at the PCock ratio on the daily. And we can see they were really, last 2 days, really starting to rise here. Really cool. It's probably the last day or so. But that's up from 0.07800 to 0.099, almost about to lose a zero. That's pretty exciting. So kind of cool. Way down from early days. Of course, you have the excitement of early days, but certainly coming off the bottom, it was way down here at 0.004 in terms of a Pulse Guy to PCock there, amount of PCock you can get. So kind of cool. Up 32% today, looking pretty good. Volume's still pretty small. Liquidity is about 40K or so across both of those 2 key pairs that we looked at. Volume 2,300, but nice little retail play. And these guys have been launching some stuff. Should we have a quick look at them? Let's do it. But I think we're going to cover that in LibertySwap anyway. So let's have a look to their X accounts. Now remember, nothing's financial advice, of course. We're just going through some of the stuff here. Now they've got about 10 or so dApps that they're working on, right? One of them is their trading bot. So they got their PGC trading bot new feature integration of LibertySwap SDK API, which we're going to be talking about today because that's the big launch that we got from LibertySwap today. You can now bridge USDC and direct from Ethereum, Base, BSC, Arbitrum, and Polygon to your trading bot in seconds. How about that? So very cool. All you have to do, showing how to do that, open up your trading bot there, select the LibertySwap bridge via LibertySwap, select the chain to bridge from, enter the amount of USDC to bridge, receive quote and accept, wait for execution. Once confirmed, give it a few moments and your USDC balance will show up on the home screen, and within the manage your portfolio section under sell and manage, where you can swap the USDC to Pulse with one click. And of course, thanks to LibertySwap for that. Pretty cool. They got a video of it. Look at us, a video here of that happening. So I guess you're going through the Telegram bot there, just stepping through those steps that we just walked through. They've obviously got a lot of the cool limit there as well. Looking very, very cool. So, exciting times, guys. Exciting times. All right. So kind of cool. That is from Pulse Guy. Pulse Guy pumping up. But we're going to talk more about that when we get to LibertySwap. But it's getting rewarded for that launch. Kind of cool. Now, the other thing we've been talking about is ZKP. Obviously, Richard Hart's ProveX token. We've got ZKP at the moment. Let's have a look at the charts. We're at 0.00414. And this is from Kairos from Emmett Farms. Very clever, I must say. This was a master move, master stroke from Mr. Wizard from Emmett Farms. And of course, he's the one that's really pioneered single-side staking with EDI rewards. Been super successful. I think around $30,000 in the first year given to single-side stakers. Very cool during a bear market. I mean, come on, that's pretty awesome. And now he's got this, and this is, look at the chart, looks fantastic. I don't see this slowing down in some ways, as long as they keep awareness up. And of course, he's pretty much the leading farm guy in the Pulse Stream. We've got some very good developers on farm, so I don't want to be misleading there, but man, he's been leading the way there. 00041, and onwards and upwards here. Onwards and upwards is with this chart looking pretty good, because if ProveX is going to be successful, why not the first mover DApp? We obviously had a lot of the DEXs and aggregators and everything pick up ProveX, but actually a protocol that you can buy another token, stake it, and earn ProveX there. And I believe it holds in a holding contract and kind of allocates it or drips it out. I think that's how it works. You have to look at the mechanics, something like that. But pretty cool. Now, another retail play, liquidity around 34K. So it's not one of the biggest projects, but certainly it could become a big one there. 413. Once again, you got to do all your due diligence on it. But I've been pretty impressed straight out of the gate. And I've been thinking about, actually this could probably do quite well over a long period of time. Now, we've got the daily RSI print there. It is getting to oversold level, so it probably needs to chill a little bit. But let's look at the pulse ratio. So, the RSI is your best friend, right? So you might want to, cool, just wait till it comes down a bit maybe and just cools off. Doesn't mean that the price isn't going to continue to go up, just needs to cool down a bit and so forth. So, just use your market ounce there. And look at peaked out here at 70 pulse per ZKP on the pulse ratio, down at 58 point now. So it's looking pretty nice there. Probably needs a bit of a cool off right now if we look at the RSI, right? So just taking that into account. But man, if ProveX is going to be successful with Kairos leading this and awareness going well, could do pretty damn well. And of course, you earn. It's got a 5% tax. You earn reflections essentially. I think it's how it works. So you can got all the descriptions down the bottom here. 5% buy and sell tax distributed to ZKP stakers. Kind of neat. All right. What else are we going to say about that? The 4 hour. I just want to quickly look at the 4 hourness. So 4 hour there, we're sort of humming around on the RSI. Still quite elevated, not oversold at the moment. We came off the oversold period. So yeah, I just think it needs a little bit of a coolness here, a bit of consolidation is what I expect. It could still rise a little bit over to 45, but probably needs to just consolidate and cool a little bit. But as long as it's turning over volume, that volume there has gone up like 2-3x from yesterday. It was sitting about 5,000 or so. So 14, it's got a nice little bump in volume. See the volume candle coming in, kind of cool. So keep a lookout for that. I got a question. I don't know if I raise it on live stream. Should I raise it? No. Anyway, it's a positive thing, but I just don't know. I don't know. I just wonder whether True DeFi, because True DeFi is like a managed fund or a hedge fund kind of sort of. It's really a manager there to try and get your 2x in pulse miners, and they've got a fund that they take 10% of the pulse that goes in, and they go and invest it into Emmet Farm, into single side staking, into True Farm, single side staking. I just wonder whether they've picked up some of this. I don't know their full portfolio allocation at the moment, but they've been doing pretty amazing with their management there. So kind of cool. It's just another offering. If you don't want to manage your own sort of stuff, it's just one of those DeFi offerings out there. So far, it's been pretty impressive. So we'll keep a lookout with that as well. Obviously, we look forward to that. Now, that is ZKP. We've got SolidX in the mix here from Firewell. That's up 7% today. Let's see where that is at, actually. Obviously, these products have all not taken off here. We were going to have SolidX staking. That didn't happen. Obviously, there were issues around, really probably the biggest problem was issues around, well, there's two problems I identified. Obviously, I was, I had seen a lot of good things from Firewell, but, we hadn't seen actually execute. This is the big problem, right? Executing is not that easy. I mean, a lot of people, think it's easy, especially when you're trying to do big things. Bigger things is even bigger execution needed, right? And so we had a lot of, obviously, people that were given tokens ended up dumping on it. One of the things I didn't like that Firewell did was always announce, hey, I'm going to pump $1 million or whatever, whether that actually actualized or not, whether we saw ink tokens settle down into, push up SolidX or into, any of the tokens there. It's an issue. You never broadcast your signals, it's just crazy. So I don't know. That was something I didn't like too much. But, I was optimistic about the vision. The vision was to get, decentralized markets on, trading bots. We saw that on Telegram. Obviously, we've got a new one now to replace that. And also, casinos, right? Expanded casinos, which is not that easy. It's a tough market to be. It's a huge market, but it's a tough market to develop on chain at the moment. It takes a lot of marketing to get the awareness for that, and you got to keep that stimulated all the time. Anyone that's been on Bitfury, which is one of the OG top tier casinos, that's centralized, not decentralized, like the one that Firewell was doing. that is actually, it's you got to keep onto it. You got to make it profitable. You got to be able to reinvest in it, make it new, fresh, and that sort of stuff. So it's actually a lot harder to do than people think. And of course, we also had a lot of influencers supposed to cover it, and those influencers didn't come to market, right? There was no other chains, so none of that stuff happened. So it was a bit unfortunate. And of course, also the market getting dumped on. So there was a lot of issues there. And we wish, obviously, Fireway well. I hope he's doing well out there. As I understand, he's gone out to do his traditional businesses, which he does well in. And hopefully he said he'll be back with the capital. So we'll see. That's kind of my latest update that I understood. If there's anything extra, let me know. Or if anything can need to be corrected, let me know as well. But that's kind of my understanding at the moment. Of course, Firewell, one of our two big public whales, the other one being Rack and Rochelle. So both of them were going into launching protocols at the end of last year. And I think we've seen, we haven't seen a lot of issues there, but I'd like to see, execution. And so still holding out, particularly for Rack and Rochelle, that we'll get some good stuff happening with Coinwell. And so I'm still optimistic about that, although we see that that's been taken off Jen's profile. And so we'll just keep an open mind about that and wait and see what happens in that space. Because anything that adds great value on the Pulse chain, we're more than happy to see flourish in that. And I love to always see the big whales. How good are they at actually execution? Because it's not that easy, right? It's not easy. And I love to see that too. So keep a look out for that. All right, so that's SolidX right now. We've got the Zero. So Zero's tied into the PCock, right? Zero's doing their thing as well, building out a lot of stuff. They're up 4.7% at the moment. So let's have a quick look at Zero. So PCock here is starting to show some of the PCock pools and projects starting to show some really cool things. Now you can go into the websites and X accounts and have a look at what they're doing. We're just covering the charts at the moment. Maybe I'll do a deep dive on some of these trifectas with PCock, like Zero and Just a Guy and all that stuff. Probably well worth it coming up. So here's the chart here. Big. Look at that volatility, man. If you're a trader's dream, right? If you've got the patience to swing trade on a daily basis. But that's when we were out now, up the last couple of days. Let's look at the PCock ratio. Obviously, PCock is quite the beast. But looking at this, look at this climb. Wow, look at that. Whoa. So if you love PCock, you've been winning on this at the moment. PCock, of course, being one of the best performing charts on the Pulse chain and the Kraken of Pulse chain. I call it the biggest project alongside Internet Money. But actually, in many ways, it's going to be bigger than Internet Money in some ways. Some ways it's not, but it could be. But in many ways, it's going to be bigger. So I could separate those out. But maybe PCock gets it all as well. So we'll see. We'll see about that. I don't know what their vision is for Apple Store or Google Store, things like that. That'd be interesting because that's the advantage that Internet Money has at the moment, right? They're on all those stores with 190 something countries, 40 blockchains, but they're also wanting to integrate LibertySwap APIs in as well, SDKs. So look out for that for Internet Money coming up, and that makes a lot of sense. Having the privacy features, right, and multi-chain blockchain swaps. In all that stuff. So just beautiful thing. All right, so we're up 16% there on their ratio, looking pretty good. There's the old Zero, and they're doing a lot of stuff on the chain as well, so you can go check that out. UFO at the moment from PTC to Grays with ProveX. That's up 4.5%. PTC the UFO also peer is often up higher than the other peers. That's up 3.9%, being lifted with the old UFO there. So kind of cool. Top Hat was tied into PCock too. Man, we've got a lot of PCock stuff moving, guys, and it should be moving. I like to see, money flow to quality. We're up 3.3%. Top Hat, of course, a meme coin, but probably arguably from our biggest influencer, Crypto Coffee. When you look at all the different features, probably running there. Coffee Shop here is up 3% as well with versus PCock, and we've got Zen as well. Another one of the trifecta coins, right? The Zero and the Zen. Zen up there 3% as well. Let's have a quick look at that versus PCock. So PCock leading the way, and it should be this month, right? Is what we expect to see. I love when we see things that we expect to see rather than people putting all their money into crap coins, which sometimes we've seen, right? We've seen that when there's all this good stuff happening with the blue chips and nothing, they're not getting priced, and then we have all these tokens dominate at the top, and they're all crap coins. All crap coins. All right, so at the moment we've got a little bit of a rise here with the daily, with the USD. Let's have a look at the PCock though, and not doing quite the same yet as the others, but we'll keep a look out for Zen here as well, and they've got a lot of features as well. I'm not going through all the things that these guys are doing, but that's something you can check their websites out for. Tied into the PCock liquidity there, so that one there is maybe they've got a future move in there. We'll see. Then we got cryptographics with Unity, and that's up 2.75%. Now Unity, we saw that there's a little bit of money left in the buy and burn for Pulse. I think it was 60K, was it? Something, I can't remember the exact number, but we looked at the other day, and they just got cryptographics has just got them registered up for Coin Market Cap. So we'll keep a lookout for that as well. And that's in progress at number 10. So those are the top 10 guys. So not a big day on the market at all. We've only got Pulse Guy doing double-digit gains, maybe ZKP pretty close. So that's really it. So not a lot of action on today. 3 million in volume at the moment, excluding the balance of forks, and about 280,000 in 24-hour volume there. Now, PulseX at the moment is doing the bulk of this. So 3 million doing 2.7, which means that 9mm is doing about 250. That's pretty low, actually, for them. And, of course, as you guys know, they actually allocate their profits to 9mm token holders. And then I think about 10% of other revenues given to the NFT holder, something like that, something in that ballpark. You can double check, but that's kind of the play there. Now, obviously, they want to get their volumes up to like 1 million or 4x on volumes. That's a lot more profitable. A couple of months back, that was equivalent to about $20,000. I don't know what it is at the moment, but that is the play on the old 9mm. All right, so we only really got 2 DEXs, and then we've got a couple of DEX aggregators fighting it out, and I'm excited about that because fighting out means innovation. And what have we seen recently? Well, we're going to get that in the monster thread, so we'll talk about the DEXs then, so stay tuned for that. That content's coming up. Incentive token up 2.7%. What else there? PulseX up a little bit as well. So we've got the Richard Cores coming in the mid-teens and in the rankings. Kind of cool. And then we get to number 20 here, Nana X. I don't know what this one has been around for 7 hours. We won't bother talking about that. I haven't talked about that. We got Doubt token, meme token there at number 21. That's up just under 0.5%. A lot of Richard Cores coming in here. We also got, what have we got there? Sparta at number 28. We kind of briefly talked about this day. I don't think it has a lot of hex in it. It doesn't have much hex in it. So normally if it's got a lot of hex, you'd say it's a fiat derivative, but it does have other capital in there, but I just don't know what the breakdown is, and I haven't bothered to look any further. That's probably it. That's from Wendy's for Tendies, right? Apparently a hex OG out there as well. So I'm sure he's made a good coin out of that. Good coin out of that. All right, it's crypto after all. What else there? We got number 29 to 9mm, and we just talked about the volume there, 250,000. And let's have a look at the healthiness of this. We had a little run up here, didn't we, in the old 9mm? Big sell-off there. Someone took all the money. They took all the money there. Where did they go? Did they switch into something else like PCock? I don't know. That'd be interesting. Where did that volume go? And it's rising back up to 3,700th of a penny right now. Let's look at the pulse ratio. Yeah, look at that volatility. It had a nice little run, and it was a bit of a counter move, and then sold down. Look at that. And where did it go? But it is climbing back up a little bit there, 537. But look at the volatility. It was all the way down. Even this candle here, all the way down. This is the daily candles. All the way down to 260. Now at 536 pulse per 9mm. Kind of interesting there. Now, I'm not sure what the yield is from the profitability. It's probably pretty low. And it's probably below Internet Money is my guess, I would think. I think Internet Money may be doing better volume. But it's interesting, right? What would the DEXs and big swaps like Internet Money be doing in terms of yield percentage? Now, they have the stats on Internet Money. I guess you'd try to have to work out 9mm. I'm not sure if they have it publicly available. You'd have to try and work out something on that. All right, so that's kind of that. But we're expecting this to once Pulse does a reversal, that the DEXs and aggregators, everything get repriced, right? We've got about, by my accounts, about 15 blue chip projects that should all get repriced, including the liquidity forks as well. So that's kind of the play. And then we have a couple of dynamic projects like PCock, LibertySwap that should price themselves up arguably every month if they keep delivering what they've been delivering, and they delivering pretty awesome stuff. All right, so let's scroll down. That's all pretty much. We've got a couple that are slightly green. PCock at the moment, slightly green. The biggest pair is sitting at just under, let's say 12, just over 1,200th of a penny, or just under 1,300th of a penny there for the old PCock. And that's what we're going to get into in the moment. So that's kind of where we are. Let's scroll down all the way down to the biggest losers. We'd like to do that today. We're going to ignore these bottom ones here, right? We've got a lot of crap coins and stuff. Who knows? Liquid loans at the moment is the biggest blue chip loser. That is down 8.7%. And come on, should we? We'll be a bit cheeky. Come on, crypto crazy man. we got to get with some of that 52 mil, man. We want to see some of that shine in here. We want to see some shine. If not now, then help market make the future, right? It's DeFi after all. It's DeFi. Let's move it up here. So we got liquidity, and this liquid loans at the market cap at 232K. Smaller than a lot of the risky spec plays, right? So smaller than that. Smaller than ZKP at the moment. Liquidity is pretty crazy as well. We're sitting at 30K. Oh my God. It was the third biggest sacrifice with $2 million. Now they have delivered their products, so that's not the issue. It's just about there's all that capital out there, dude. It's probably earning lots of interest too. While you're drinking lattes at these wonderful conferences, and it's fantastic. He's doing all that, all the conferences that the Liquid Line's doing all that. But let's get some liquidity support or something. I don't know, somewhere in the future. Don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. But it always makes me laugh. It's such a huge amount of money, right? Such a huge amount of money. People, if you haven't been around when Sacrifice was on, it was massive FOMO, man. People couldn't wait to sacrifice their money. It was crazy stuff. Obviously, that's dampened down a little bit. We saw that with the ProveX, but still pretty successful. I thought the ProveX was still pretty successful, so it's fun times. It makes you laugh anyway. Teddy Bear from James Maria, so that's still moving around. We see it go up sometimes. We see it come back. Teddy Bear down 6.6% right now. We've obviously got Pulse Peers here. We got a Troper, another James Maria, and Treasure Ball. Now, obviously, James Maria, people tie him into Richard Art and to Pulse Chain Success. James Maria has his own views, of course. He's launched waves of different tokens. Teddy Bear is kind of supposed to be the meme coin, kind of represent the general health. That was kind of his vision for it, and it does tend to move a bit from here to there. And of course, Troper and others as well playing liquidity games, and he still has a lot of firepower. We've seen him, move a lot of Ethereum, do live streams moving Ethereum over the bridge and selling down. We've seen him, seemingly involved with PDI and all that sort of, craziness that we had. And of course, we had Kerry and XUSD team doing their thing, shutting down Maker. We had so much drama on the chain, but that's all out there, right? And it can still play out especially if we get a reversal on Pulse chain, we could see some of that all start kicking into gear. So don't count these out. Keep a lookout for them. They could end up doing some magic volume play. We'll keep a lookout for that. PC the Grey's down here as well. Been a little bit of drama about that. With I think Crypto Solve. I will have a look at that because I want to check that later on. ProveX at the moment is down here as well. Now ProveX, we've got a nice price target of ProveX, assuming it holds up, right? So I did a little coverage of that the other day on X. I'll probably do some more. Let's remove this at the moment. I'll just hide that. And so we got a breakdown here. So we had a thesis that it could break to the upside. It has broken down again below 21. So that bull scenario that I had a bias that I had in, that is broken down now. So it is broken below the 21 moving average. So it's at a pretty key point now. You'd want to see this climb back up in the next 2 days for that thesis that I put up. The more probable than not that it would go up here. So we'll keep a lookout for that. And we're back down at 50. So we've got a reasonable chance that will recover, but we're at that kind of critical decision point right now around that 21 moving average on ProveX. We're currently at 6,300, and the upside for that was going to be 78 to 800 there, 7,600 on the Fibonacci, but I was a bit more bullish, 78 to 800, and it's still in play. So we're still in play, but that is being challenged right now. And it looks like at the moment it's really on the battle on the moment. Now, yesterday I would have said, wow, that's pretty bad. It's breaking down for sure, but we had a nice green day so far start up. So if that gets back over, we're all good. We're all good. And so that call will be saved but if we have another red day, it's lost. If the call was lost, that'd be the first call I've lost on ProveX. That's if it happens, it happens. It's kind of it. But it's teetering right now on the 21. So wish me luck with that. All right, so that is the old ProveX. Let's jump into LibertySwap, guys. This is the big news today, and we're excited about it. So we're going to get into that. Don't forget to get into the chat there as well. Always love the comments. If you guys got any thoughts or anything I've been talking about, anything big that you think I haven't been talking about, because we've got a lot more to go through. I think I'm doing a 2-hour live stream, guys, because I got so much more to go through. We're dropping the alpha in this channel. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. Let's have a drink on that. Cheers, cheers, chin, chin. All right, so we got Liberty AI API out. Big deal, right? So now other teams can start integrating LibertySwap products, privacy features, the frontier of DeFi these guys are rolling out. We're very lucky to have them on Pulse Chain. They also seem to be rolling out many of the things in Richard Hart's vision. If you guys remember his old roadmap there from way back, the little snapshot. But it's continuing on. So LibertySwap API is out, and we're already seeing teams use it. Very, very cool. Now, some of the things we've got here as well, they're continuing to support their product. And boy, you got to have diamond hands when you're at the bottom of the bear market on Pulse Chain and you're buying up more of the PCock, more the LP positions that you need to boost liquidity. Remember, these guys balance these things out from day to day. But man, it's a really kudos to their character, which I really, really like. So we've bought 3,000 worth of PCock to celebrate the launch of our first S product. The second S product is launching in a few hours or this weekend. So we're excited about that. And of course, they're showing some of the receipts there. Very, very cool. And of course, this comes back to 12 hours ago. We'd like to announce our new products, Liberty SDK and LibertySwap API. By using this set of SDKs and APIs, dApps and integration partners can easily fetch optimal routes, calculate fees, and generate the transaction payloads needed to interact with LibertySwap. Now available in all other Liberty product contracts coming soon. OMG. I mean, do you see what I'm saying, man? This is the Kraken of Pulse Chain, dude. They are rapidly rolling out. They've got to be very clever to do this, guys. They get audits as well, but they're doing really frontier stuff. I don't know. These guys from European, like German universities with 3-4 IT degrees, I don't know. You decide, but it is pretty impressive so far what these guys have been doing, and with the quality of work been outstanding. This marks the first year milestone of our project launching on Pulse Chain and demonstrates our commitment to long-term development. And this is a key critical thing, right? We want blue chips to really, do what they say and say what they do. And these guys have been doing it. We've had lots of disappointed for various reasons. So, lots of reasons there. But we've finally got a Kraken on here on the chain. So it's pretty cool. Frank White says, funny you said German, lol. Says, yeah, the Deutschlander. I watch too many German war movies. Anyway, we got with this tool set, we can expand to partners across our ecosystems, integrate into their wallets, dApps, bridge routes, and swap routes, making Pulse Chain more connected while increasing our protocol's trade volume over time. Now, this last bit is crazy. Oh, Frank White says because they are. Yeah, because they are. Very nice. Hey, what's the name in it? Is it what's his name? Fitz? Is it Fitz, or what is his name? Felix? Is it Felix? Is he in the team? Felix in the team? Because Felix wasn't he he was involved with Ramp now, and Felix was in Sun Minimal, remember? So maybe they're all connected that way. That's interesting. Yeah. Well, Ramp now, we've got big news about Ramp now. We're going to talk about that in a minute. So we won't give just all the limelight to LibertySwap, because Ramp now is doing some very cool things as well. We will talk about one issue with Ramp now, because obviously they're doing some amazing things, but probably the fees. I think the fees might be the issue there, although they're really opening up the countries as well. So very bullish about that. All right, so this last bit is the key part. So I think there's a key takeaway. Now, obviously, now all these project teams can use the LibertySwap tools. Absolutely amazing, guys. This is just going to open it right up. Not just Pulse Chain teams, but well beyond Pulse Chain. And this is what LibertySwap's into that. They're obviously doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes there on other key chains. This really can start, just fan the flames of adoption. Really cool. But I want to point out two things about this that are here at the end here, and they go connected. So making Pulse Chain more connected, that is a big thing we're going to be watching for the rest of this year, guys, and ramping up and beyond. I think we're going to see some major connectedness across chains here with different providers and stuff. Watch out for that. But look at this, increased trading volume over time. You guys know to succeed in a blockchain, you need the trading volume. You need to get that volume up, right? So this is really important. We saw on PulseX, $2.7 million at the moment. We saw on 9mm, $250,000 at the moment. We need to get the volume really kicking into gear, and this is exciting. So it's going to help do that. And this is a big thing I'm looking forward. This is also, ramp up the volume. You got some modest fees on there. You can really ramp up the fees, and that's ultimately better for actually making bigger pools and also buying PCock. And of course, they got their new wallet coming up, which we'll talk about too. Very, very cool. So we got the LibertySwap. We might go through this a bit more. Maybe we'll have a geek show and try and go through this a bit more. But pretty cool. The API is there, and you can go to docs.libertyswap.finance, see all that. We're not going to do that now, but that is pretty cool. We are working with several major wallet service providers to integrate this API into their wallet cross-chain swap features. We're available everyone soon. Isn't that cool? So obviously Internet Money be one of those, but we're expecting others as well. I'm not sure if I think they'll go beyond Pulse Chain, so it could be pretty exciting there. Keep a lookout. Obviously Ramp now is doing a wallet too. We'll get to that as well, so kind of neat. All right, so that is it on that one. So very cool stuff happening there with the launch of those. And they got more stuff there. We'd like to announce our new products. We've talked about all that. What else we got there? We're working with many several wallet providers. So this is getting bigger, guys. These guys are scaling real nice. I like this, real nice. In this, let's just scroll up there. We don't want to talk about that. What's this comment here? Suppose we launch our yield products now, since they're fully audited and open source, they can build trust and steadily gain volume over time. That leaves us with two paths. And of course, they're talking about the fees there. We had a bit of difference there. I kind of felt like a hybrid position, have it free for a week or something, 2 weeks, allow the liquidity to build up, maybe even a month, and then start adding the fees in there. Modest fees, of course, but on volume, that is very key. So build the volume, add modest fees, and likely people stay if it's competitive, right? Kind of cool. Let's scroll back up here. We've got more stuff. So LibertySwap here. So obviously they launched the SDK API. The first team with no prior information. So they're saying it's not insider job, not insider information, has successfully integrated it, and funds are already moving through. Their feedback so far so easy. Isn't that beautiful? That's a beautiful thing. Let's give that a clap, guys. That's awesome stuff. Goody says buy PRUVX or buy PCock. Now, I mean, investment decision is something that you need to make. Now, I obviously cover the markets, but nothing's financial advice. You got to do your own diligence, of course. But my favorite at the moment, you got to decide. Well, PRUVX is kind of relatively cheap, so that could be a good buy. It's at a bit of a decision point right now. PCock is obviously a incremental value add, and you got to compare the RSIs, which I haven't done. So maybe we can do that in tomorrow's show. Maybe you can remind me. But there's two different things. One, maybe PRUVX is a good entry, and two, PCock is a value add. So it's more of an investment hold there. That's kind of the way I'd put that. So there's a couple of little thoughts there, and RSI would be pretty key in terms of entries and stuff. But PCock's got a lot of big launches this month. PRUVX is still in beta, still to roll out, but it has its own market dynamics. So a few like general comments there. All right, let's scroll back up here. What else we got to go? So that's pretty cool on that one. Let's see here. See if we've got any comments. I always look at the comments. You guys know that, because sometimes they drop some other alpha there you don't see in the main post, right? They always drop a little bit extra there because people ask them questions and stuff. No staking? Yes, coming. Yeah, so we're waiting for staking, right? So we're waiting for yield products, right? We're waiting for, so we've got the SDK API out. That means adoption through other teams. So you're expanding your network, increasing your volumes. Those are the two key outcomes there. And number two, we're looking for the yield products and staking coming up. There's a lot of things in that space. That's a whole nother topic. And of course, we've got the wallet coming up, Frontier wallet, combining a normal wallet with privacy technology, making it really easy to use. So democratizing that in many ways, and opening it up for mass adoption, which is at the frontier of DeFi, which we love. We love that. So kind of cool. All right, keep a lookout for that. Have we got any more comments there? I don't know. I've got Peter there, Peter. All right, so that is from them a couple of hours ago. Let's go through a few more here. Now, obviously, this is the application. We looked at just the Pulse guy just earlier with their Telegram bot, or with their trading bot. Awesome. And they said it was so easy and so quick to pull this into their trading bot. And now people have this, which is awesome. And then we saw the USDC example. This is seriously another level of shipping speed, says LibertySwap. Huge thanks to our ecosystem friends, Just the Pulse guy, Dosmon Crypto. There we go. Dosmon there for Pulse Chain, #1 Telegram bot. And he's got a referral link there. And everyone involved for being the first projects to integrate our API. Now, remember, with Telegram, even though it's a very Wild West kind of place, when you think about it, it's good for certain things, for sure, for social stuff, but it's a bit of Wild West. And but I think they have about 1 billion users a month. So think about that. You're tapping in even to a fraction of that. That's pretty cool. And we're expecting crypto to get wider attention, wider awareness, wider adoption. So you're starting off really nice still. We're still early on that. Our cross-chain trading swap, DEX swap, and privacy routes will be widely available very soon, making Pulse Chain more accessible and useful for the broader crypto community. So we're just slowly, creeping out the tentacles there. In fact, it may have quite a big speed there. So kind of cool. Look at that. Jump through the trading bot there. Kind of cool. Now you can bridge in money as well. Insane. Isn't that cool? Very cool. That is amazingly fast. Look how fast it is. Yeah. Ticking through there. Bam. Awesome stuff. So you got to be excited about all that. What else? We've got this $10 here. $10 is an interesting marketing way of app marketing the old PCock there. Someone in the community doing that. They got their old, they've made an app where you can see people pasting their transactions, and then it shows where they are in the world. Kind of cool. So Algeria, apparently. We've got in Africa. Not bad. Picking up some. But let's get to the updates here. We've got buying more ETH and Pulse to prepare for PCock LPs. We are expecting a big liquidity product coming out from, which is a yield product coming from LibertySwap. That's another big thing this month in April. And then maybe we'll get the wallet launch as well. It's in public testing, so that wallet is huge. So we've got 2 big deals happening here coming up. We actually 3, haven't it? Because today was a big deal. It's a little bit more invisible, but it quickly shows up in partner projects, like we saw with Pulse Guy, with the trading bot. And of course, we get more applications using it. I know that Internet Money is inquired, so they'll be using it pretty quickly. They'll probably be out before the week's done, is my guess. So yeah. So we've got lots of cool things happening. Yield product coming, staking coming. I mean, this team's going to just keep rolling out. And remember, the key part was the beginning of this year when they did the V2 upgrade, which allowed them to hook in DeFi projects. In other words, they can just modularly add all this DeFi and make the ecosystem expand. And then, of course, they get all the partners using the products, and then suddenly they're everywhere, right? And it becomes a true juggernaut in crypto, not just Pulse Chain, but really starts getting the tentacles across chain. And that's why they're focused on base, Ethereum chain, base chain, not just EVM chains, but the SVM chain, Solana, which they're not a big fan of, but Solana, because it shuts down sometimes. But it's exciting where we're heading there. Pretty cool. That's where a lot of the capital is going through, right? We already said Bitcoin, Ethereum. We already have 90% of the volume thrown through. And of course, they've already added Bitcoin into some of their technology as well. So very cool. Buying more ETH and Pulse to prepare the PCock LPs, PCock World Order. Nice. So the question you can raise is, they're making money off certain products of their fees, but they always seem to bring extra capital in. So whose capital is it? Whose capital is it? Who's backing this? That's the question. A lot of it aligned to Richard's vision. Is it Richard? I don't know. Based in Europe, makes sense. There's a lot of blues clues there. I know Crypto Sparbook seems to have some involvement, but we'll see. But it's certainly, this was very, very cool. This is like the alpha project, and that's why I call it Kraken on Pulse Chain. We've got some very good project developers and other stuff happening on Pulse Chain. So we've got a whole ton of people in behind, but this is really pretty damn exciting. So they added some more PCock buyback. We'll try to accumulate some ETH and Pulse at these prices. The 2 main assets are seriously undervalued, and that's correct. So getting all this at the moment, fantastic idea, because we're hyper bullish. If you go back to the beginning of the stream, we covered all the bullish stuff on the Bitcoin and the Ethereum. So picking this is a very exciting. Of course, Pulse there at all-time lows as well. So only a good thing in our view. Only a good thing there. Pretty awesome stuff, right? All right. Let's scroll back up here. So very cool things happening here. More stuff from the PCock world map. I'm just going to pass all that so you can check that out in your own time. Got more stuff around that $10. It's cool for marketing, right? That sort of thing. Bought more Pulse, says LibertySwap. What else there? Also, there's still a lot of work to be done. We're working on some partners, APIs, and new token app for Pulse Chain. So this new token app, we'll be looking forward to see that when it comes out too. What else we got going on here? Let's scroll up here. The thing that makes LibertyX, of course, they launched last month, remember? That was their big project launch. And of course, that is a DEX aggregator. Pretty awesome. And the thing that makes a LibertyX special is that transactions will only succeed if you receive the exact amount. So they've done some upgrades to that. They've got some good simulations to make sure you get a good deal. There's actually the amount you've received. Nice. And they hate MEV bots. So they bypass that, right? They bypass that with the RPC. Absolutely no bias, no fees, 0 fees. We only care about output and execution there. For the public good. We love these kind of things. Now they've got to balance out, of course, fee making and ease of use and the public good. But I think they're doing a pretty good job with that so far. And one thing they do sitting behind the background is they're very good at liquidity management. Something they specialize in getting higher yields as well. It helps also fund the project and expand the projects. It's kind of cool. We haven't heard them talk about that for some time, but last year we got quite a few comments on that. So that is LibertySwap, guys. Woohoo! So let's give them another clap. Big stuff coming from LibertySwap this month. And don't forget, we've got lots of other stuff coming. They keep teasing all these new things that's come out. They just go, oh, and we're doing this, and we're doing that, and they do it. And then, of course, we've got Liberty Lend coming, guys. So Liberty Lend's going to be huge. They've got staking coming. I'm sure they're going to pull in one of the ideas from last year around remember the pump tire, the meme coin airdrop things. I'm sure that's going to come back in the loop at some stage. And that was a stakeable too. They got their DAO token. So only a question I have, obviously we've got PCock out there. They're going to have their DAO token coming. They airdropped to PCock, and it's going to be interesting to see how they set up tokenomics for that. I think it's still going to be grossly in favor of PCock, but that'll be interesting when you've got dual token systems. You can make them work quite well, but it'd be interesting to see the tokenomics there. All right, so that is kind of the play. Let's get into the big news. I call it the monster show because we're going to be covering the monster. Not only would you have monster alpha drops around Bitcoin, Ethereum, the economics of the market, stock market, and of course Pulse Chain and LibertySwap. We've also got the monster thread guys, and so we're going to get into this. This is going to be pretty cool. If you guys haven't subscribed, of course, don't forget to smash the follow button on X to scroll to the top. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube, we're on 3 YouTube channels: The Crypto Night Show, Superman Crypto, and Pulse Chain X. Smash the subscribe, hit the bell for daily videos, all that good stuff. And if you haven't joined up to our strategy club, you can hit the QR code or use the video description links. Go to the Whoop store, pinned at the top of X, and join up. Just over $1 a day to join up that. Get all the alpha. As I'm researching through the day, I post a lot of the alpha stuff that I don't talk about here on the channel, and it is in there at the moment. So kind of cool. Every so often I'll pull a little bit out for the live stream, but that is kind of the play there. So join up today, get in there. We've got the only crypto helpline at the moment, and also we've helped hundreds of people in there, particularly our moderators and community members are awesome. And so there's so much on there. We've got a lot of resources, etc. It's a great place to be. All right, so see you in Strategy Club today. All right, so we get into it. The Monster Thread, guys. So the Monster Thread is a publication of the Crypto Night Show. It is we've been doing it for 48 weeks now. MBS Crypto is the editor-in-chief of the Monster Thread. We work together. He's the promotional lead for the Crypto Night Show. So if you're a team out there and you want to get support in terms of marketing and promotion, you either hit up MBS or myself, and we can help you with that. Now, the Monster Thread is a professional publication. However, the news is essentially neutral. So we have a lot of research that we do on the Pulse Chain community. And so we've got our own tools set up for that. And we make sure that we get very much the best of the news out of the Pulse Chain community every single week, guys. We have a very good pulse on what's going on with who's doing what. We have some very good stuff to see, what is the community doing? What are the social activities? What are the fun things? What are the things that people are doing different? What are their birthdays? Are they, whatever's kind of key, we kind of get into that community vibe. We also obviously look at the DeFi side, what's happening on the DeFi side, on the old Pulse chain. So we sort of have a mix of that news, and basically it's a massive alpha drop. We also always have the first story on Richard Hart, because Richard Hart is the founder of Pulse Chain, and so it's a tribute to him. And you always, we always believe in honor there. We work with very strict ethics on doing the publication, and we love doing it. Frankly, we're here basically every day. And what was it? Almost a year ago, we thought, man, there's a couple of things that are needed on Pulse Chain: professional support for teams, and in terms of getting promotion. You can make the best project in the world, but if people aren't hearing about it, then that's a problem, right? That's a problem. And so we've helped a lot of teams on the way do that. And it's really fun to do. Now, we don't, it's a professional, so we get supported for our efforts and not for, profiteering. So that's the other thing that we focus on as well. And we run through pretty strict ethic guidelines there. Now, every so often you're going to meet, people out there that are bad actors. So we always come across that as well. We've managed out a lot of those issues too. But every so often, it can be an issue. But generally, 98% of the time, we've had very good projects and teams out there doing a lot of great stuff. It's better now than ever, guys. It's better now than ever. Now, that being said, of course, there's always a risk out there with some of the projects. There's a little side topic, not really to do with the publication, but we've got AI advancing now. We have still got Google ads and still causing a lot of trouble, etc. I don't know why there's not been a class action on Google, to be honest, and other channels, because they just frivolously allow scams to go through their Google ads. It's just really bad. And so, you got to be careful out there what you search. I won't be searching anything on Google with taking the links. You really want to go to the official channels there. Look after yourself, guys. Very, very important there. And you got to also be very careful about characters that you're dealing with as well. DeFi, there is obviously we have mutable code for a lot of DeFi, but we also have a lot of DeFi that's based on the people that run them. They're not fully DeFi, right? They have certain controls over functions, and normally the projects aren't as good as the leaders there. So, and that can take time sometimes, saying that, it's a trustee actor. So we've got a bit of a mixed bag between those things and DeFi. All right, so let's get into it, folks. The Monster Thread number 48, 48 weeks of the hottest news on Pulse Chain. And it is so much fun, guys, pulling this together. I know that MVS enjoys it too. So the title of the post today, Richard Hart's birthday wishes. Liberty yield error, ramp now, Asia expansion. How good is that? I mean, we're so excited with this. Obviously, birthday wishes is a lot of fun. We love community stuff. Liberty yield error. I mean, come on, think about it. We're going into the Kraken project on Poleschain, opening up the yield opportunities, not just for itself, but for other teams to incorporate now. This is also a game changer, and a game changer for Poleschain as well, with connectedness and increase in liquidity flows, which we want so desperately. Ramp now, Asia expansion. Now we've got this. We're going to talk about Ramp now, another key bridge protocol that's now ramping up. It's Asia, allowing capital to flow from fiat trade, into crypto. So huge there. We're going to talk about that and many more monster modes. So let's get into it. Join Emmett Farm and True DeFi today for steady ETH returns on single-side staking and popular farm options. Those two have been amazing. So you can do single-side staking of Emmett and True Farm tokens and earn ETH, guys. ETH, stablecoin. So if you're wanting that nice firm income, it's a place to be. You've also always got the underlying token value there. But man, these guys have been performing like a boss. Emmett Farm for over a year now. True Farm there for a couple of months, doing a great job with their approach to DeFi and fund management. Richard Hart's birthday wishes. Richard Hart wished a happy birthday to Havita. She has 46,600 followers. She's one of our top female influencers. She doesn't do a lot of engagement. She's been away for quite a bit, but she's, along with KDP and a few others, she's one of the big female influencers there. So happy birthday to her, 25 years old. How about that? I think I remember when she was like 18 or something, wasn't she? She was 17, I don't know, 18, when she first came on the scene. She's got a wonderful photo of her and Richard Hart having dinner together. I remember that. That's kind of cool. Liberty yield error. And of course, this is the Kraken on Poleschain. LibertySwap Fi teased the launch of their brand new yield products that's still to come, highlighting the potential impacts for bringing external revenue towards PCock and Poleschain. So we discovered the SDK APIs today. That's massive. And then we've got the yield product coming in the wallet, right? So, and a few other things. They've always got a few other things in the next. So April is a big month for LibertySwap and a big month for Poleschain and the multi-chain future. Promo tablets. Now, obviously, marketing's been a big play, and Richard Hart's been a key catalyst, as well as all the sponsors, right? And don't forget all the people that are volunteering to get these iPads out. You can never think about the effort that it takes. It's so easy to say, oh, the iPad's cool, they're going out, but actually a lot of effort involved in doing that, right? From the community, sacrificing their own time, which is wonderful. So big shout out to all those people sacrificing there. Now, Wildest J being a key player in that, obviously one of the top female influencers as well in Poleschain, calls for the community in New York, VA, and MN to message Griffin. Now, Griffin's been managing the warehouse for the most part and dispatching of promo tabs. They've going out far and wide to the USA, to the UK, etc. So really getting out there. As more shipments of Poleschain promo tablets arrive for distribution, pretty cool there. Nice stuff. So I think we've got a little picture there. Let's have a quick look at that. A little picture of the iPad if you guys have forgotten about it. It's got Pulse and X on it, and people are reacting to that. So that is engaging. So we're always going to get a percentage of engagement, right? Open source contributions. Brother KG from Internet Money sends a shout out to the Dan Hepworth here for contributing to the Internet Money open source code. So I think adding a new feature into the Internet Money, and that was a really nice shout out from KG on that. So obviously Internet Money, I call it one of the other probably the other top two projects in terms of the breadth of the project and the complexity. Internet Money has been huge. Remember, 100 on all three major platforms, Google Play, etc., Mac, App Store, all that sort of stuff, and of course 40 blockchains. So all the countries in the world covered. So huge integration for Poleschain. Today we thank community developer Dan for contributing to Internet Money open source. I thought that was a really great video. So big shout out to KG for that. So giving thanks, always a big deal, and I love that. So that was kind of cool in the old monster thread there. What else do we got? We got another big story here from B-Roots, one of the biggest influencers in the Poleschain community, 114,000 followers, and he shared a massive upcoming bare-knuckled Ice Wars, which he's been involved with, and this is sponsored by Poleschain. So I'm not sure whether that's a transfer or a credit from Firewell. It may very well be, but that was on the May the 14th. That's coming up, and check out this picture. It is awesome. Look at that. It's got Poleschain at the bottom there. Look at that. Is that cool? As a sponsor, and it's got the Ice Wars fight there. Pretty cool. I think that's kind of neat. That's chances of it being sold out, 99.9% says Moon King there. How about that? All right, so kind of cool. We got another 2 billion milestone. Neil, Daniel, and Hexecutioner from True DeFi went live for dynamic discussion celebrating another 2 billion pulse distributed by TrueDeFi's True2X system, while receiving huge praise from the beaters there and DeFi Nation sharing their experience. So that was pretty cool. And I think they got a little stream, have they? Yeah, stream there. Check this out. These guys are dropping some stuff. Now, if you're interested in, money management, sort of hedge fund, sort of their whole idea is they started their Fred product for TrueDeFi was doing a 2x pulse miner. So if you're into that sort of stuff, that fits your kind of approach, then they're kind of helping you get to 2x pulse and increasing your volumes. And they've already had several phases of people getting 2x in their miners there. And then, of course, they expanded the DeFi, went to Emmet Farm, then they launched their own farm, True Farm. They got single-side staking and EDI. That's money's coming back into the system to deliver on these 2x pulse miners, etc. And they've got lots of other complicated things around auctions and shares and how you play that, and you can speed up things up. There's lots of stuff going on in there. And they've done a video on this. Pretty cool. Now, I understand that they're also going to look to expand their marketing promotions and get their presence out even further. And this is really cool. And so far, they've been very happy with their performance and doing better than they expected in their modeling. So it's a journey that we're going to follow. TrueDeFi, they're doing pretty well. So big shout out to the team there. What else we got going there? We got Petius massive upgrades. So we talked about I talked about earlier about the kind of a bit of a competition in some ways, healthy competition going with the DEX aggregators. So we've got the main DEXs, PulseX, 9mm. We've got now, we've got Balance of Forks as well, but we've got Petius there is heading towards a massive upgrade. Routing capabilities will be completely rebuilt from scratch, and execution will get some game-changing improvements. So that was pretty exciting for our pretty much dominant DEX aggregator. But look, we've got other protocols coming in that are competing with them now, like Switch and others. So keep a lookout for that, and LibertySwap with LibertyX, right? So we've got stuff that going. They're all kind of getting integrated to each other too, though, in some ways. So it's getting pretty awesome. So they're going to be doing lots of cool things. You can see all the upgrades that they're coming. They've got lots of big stuff there. I'm not going to read through that, but you can read through that on the Monster News there. So big stuff there. What a week for the Monster Thread, because there was such big stories this week, and you can see they're rolling out constantly. Next week's going to be big too, guys. It's going to be big. April's going to be a big month for Pulse Chain. You watch. We've got so much good DeFi happening. Seven and Friends, so Crypto Chat 7, arguably the largest influencer in the UK. I think there's one or two challenges on that, but he's been doing a pretty good job there. Went live with Fast Abdul, so big shout out to him. And of course, Triple Dad, two beloved developers and influencers in the Pulse Chain community. Discussed the mystery free hex distribution and inflation numbers, so you can go check that out. That's a stream there, pretty cool. Now, obviously, this EHEX distribution, we talked about the iPad promotions, but we must be near 7 million drops now. There's 400 million ETH wallets, guys. So I think 7 million EHEX wallets have been dropped. Ethereum wallets have been dropped with hex between one hex, I think, and a dollar worth of hex. And so I think we've been seeing anecdotal or early evidence, let's say, of about 0.5% engagement. I think there was a survey by CryptoSolve with about 5,500, and about 0.5% of that had engaged in some form. So if you add that by the millions, yeah, okay. Let's see what happens. See what happens there. And if hex starts rising in price, that could be very interesting. So it's an interesting ploy there, and we'll keep a lookout there on that one. We got Happy Easter, Kings. Of course, it was Easter this weekend, of course, and we celebrated that as well. The death and the resurrection of Jesus Christ, and for us Christians, our Lord and Savior. Of course, the greatest evidenced moment in ancient history, and amazing stuff there. So pretty cool. Wished a happy Easter to the Pulse Chain community, and I'm sure a lot of people had a lot of Easter eggs too, and probably ate too much, and now regret it. I regret it there. Frank White says competition is good. I wish Petius had real competition. Well, it's coming. We got at least a Switch and LibertyX and a few other kind of providers there. Some of them using APIs too. In the space of DEX aggregating. We have DEX aggregators, and we have aggregators of aggregators, right? Remember that? Aggregators of aggregators. So it should be a good topic, and it's developing. We're seeing that play out at the moment. It's kind of cool. But think about, they also attract a lot more liquidity too. They also help with liquidity provision, like getting more liquidity coming, because they make it so easy. And of course, people get best rates. They're getting best rates there too, generally speaking. And then the other big thing is that we've got LibertySwap is coming back to them quickly, is really opening up the amount of liquidity coming through. And so that's going to be really cool with the SDK API and the new yield product coming up to boost liquidity. So you incentivize liquidity to come, and you expand that by X's as the game, and that's the key. That's key if you're wanting Pulse Chain to really move. This excludes all the thing that Richard Hart can do, right, with the sacrifice magic upride stuff. So we're just putting that to the side. We're just thinking about what the market players on Pulse Chain are doing. Now, obviously, you can decide who's backing LibertySwap, but it's pretty exciting. It feels very very much there. Did Richard hire the A team? Did Richard hire the A team to bring the alpha, bring his vision into play? I don't know. I guess we get all these launches every month from LibertySwap, and then eventually we get to next year, and they're saying, we're at the bull market's really humming, and they say, hey, look, we just bought real estate on an island. We're going to name it Exco, and we're tokenizing it, so you can come and buy some, stay, whatever, and that'd be hilarious, right? That'd be hilarious. That'd be so funny. Frank White and House there, LibertyX uses Batias API because no one can beat Batias quotes. Lol, says Frank White. Yeah. They are there. Yeah. LibertySwap is entirely 100% unrelated to Arch, says Frank. Yeah. Well, we're just making the parallels are pretty unusual. Yeah. There's no direct tie-in. All right. Just want to say that, but it's just uncanny. All their capabilities are very Richard-like. And I'm not talking about talking about as a capability to fund something. So they seem to be very well funded, and they seem to have an incredibly good developer team, but also very balanced and very cool, calm, and collected. So yeah, it is a super team for sure. All right, so what else we got going? We got What the Hex. DJ Cryptomatic held the What the Hex episode 160 with Papa Bona. He's a security influencer in the Pulse chain, featuring Jay Gold and Dave Lev there as well. Kind of cool. So a quick look at that. That's kind of cool. You can watch that. DJ Cryptomatic, of course, does some of the hottest music out there too. Kind of cool. And that's on Spotify too. So kind of neat. Frank White says they are the middlemen, entirely centralized, not at all Richard like, in my opinion, says Frank. Yeah, that's true. That is true, actually. Well, they do a lot of immutable stuff, I guess, largely, so it's not too bad. What about representing everything? Vibra Finance, another influencer in the space, is rocking Hex stickers and Pulse chains. We've got influencers out there rocking their Hex stickers and Pulse chain hats. Let's have a quick look at this because I love this sort of stuff. I love stories like this because this is where Hex and Pulse chain show up in all sorts of places. Look at that. He's at the casino table and he's got the old Hex on there. I think that's pretty fun. Isn't that cool? Very nice there. Now, if you're out there in the community, it's just something simpler you can do too if you're into that sort of thing. Put stickers around and this and that. Wickety Wick Week. I love this title here. Wickety Wick Week. OG Tangent. So Tangent, of course, formerly pretty much a TA guy, but of course he's out there about doing a lot of projects. I think Tangang, all that sort of stuff. Held a massive spaces on Pulse Chain, followed by many developing updates for his project that he likes called Wick. I think it's a meme coin project. I think they do a lot of artwork as well because I think Tangent's into kind of like certain art. So he's got that there as well. And you can see the space there. And they've had a lot of people watch it. So we've got a couple, maybe we've got about half a dozen of semi to reasonably consistent X spaces run by different people. Tam Tams of the world, KRs of the world, these sort of people. Tangent, of course. And they're getting, several thousand views on these. So it's really good. That's really good. You add those all up. That's quite significant, right? So kind of cool. They're all playing their role. And of course, they're covering topics they love, right? So that's cool. There's DeFi after all. Onboarding UK singer. Say what? Mo Mindset, who normally does artwork, right? He does artwork everywhere with Pulse Chain and Hex, does rich art paintings. He says he gifted a promo tablet to an upcoming British singer who took an interest in Pulse Chain. So it was kind of cool, something different. We like different stuff. And that is the UK singer there. Kind of cool. And of course, she does... she does talented English singer and also Italian, Hindi, and Punjabi. So she does different songs there in those different 4 languages / cultures. Very cool. We got Asia supports Pulse Chain, and this is a mega update too for the DeFi. So as you can see, we've got a lot of community stories, but we've got some really big DeFi stories this week, and I think this month's going to be huge for DeFi rollouts on Pulse Chain. And what the perfect time! Pulse Chain's down, arguably. Fingers crossed, arguably down near the lows and hopefully the all-time low. There's a lot of definitely good support for that around liquidity, etc. So we've got Asia supports Pulse Chain. Official ramp now opens open access. So ramp now, of course, one of our big bridges that opened up last year. They have opened access to Pulse Chain across Asia now, including Singapore, Japan, South Korea, Thailand, India, Hong Kong, Philippines, Vietnam, and Indonesia, which is pretty cool. Now, we do have a Pulse Chain influencer, maybe a couple of them that are working on Asia expansion. So they're out there too. They've been on the Monster thread before, and that's exciting. We do also have cafes, Pulse Chain cafes out there, I think in Thailand, stuff like that. So we've had those parts of the community in the Monster thread before. Kind of cool. But you can see all the different countries rolling out. Isn't that cool? Very cool. Now, Ramp Now, of course, that is in play. Now, I think they do have some fees. I haven't checked out the fees, but look at that. 40 plus fiat currency supported with local and global Ramp Now. So kind of cool. What do they got there? So you can get in there, check it out. What do they do? We support 40 plus fiat currencies. This is really cool. And not just cards or SEPA. We support local preferred payment methods used by people in each region. That's really cool. So that's a real game changer there. So that might be something that suits you. You can decide. But that's a fiat to crypto on-ramp there for Pulse Chain. Dedicated Pulse Chain. Look at all the countries. Awesome. They're also looking, if you're an influencer out there, they're also looking to collaborate with creators across different regions. If you're building locally and have a decent audience, slide into DM. So that might be something that you might want to do. So you can check that out. How about that? Very cool. Emmett Farms from Kairos says adoption doesn't start with DeFi, starts with at an on-ramp. This is how you grow ecosystems. How about that? That's pretty cool. And Nick Hellman, a big KOL on Pulse Chain, 32,000 followers there from Crypto Paradise. Big shout out to them and the Surf Token. They says nice work, nice stuff there. A lot of cool people in there as well making comments. Nice stuff there from a Ramp Now, and of course one of our decent bridges onto the Pulse Chain and fiat on ramps as well, doing stuff. Now they've got their wallet coming up as well. So not only have we got the wallet coming from LibertySwap, we've got the wallet coming from Ramp Now. Now, I also thought there was another wallet in play. Now, let me know if you guys remind me. I just remember it was a long time ago I looked at it. I mean, a long time, a few months ago. I was pretty sure there's a third team doing a wallet. But let me know if you remember what that was. If there is, I'm not 100% sure. It could be my fantasy in my mind. We've got Best Hawk at the moment is delivering Pulse Chain promo tablets like a paperboy style. Put up your hand if you're a paperboy. Paperboy, that's pretty funny. Old school. They're still paperboys these days? Probably is. Delivering PulseChain.com, crypto educational marketing digital tablets, newspaper boy style, thanks to SJ. So he's actually delivering promo pads. Look at this in the mailbox by his car. That's too good. I got to give a clap to that too. That's pretty fun. A good little magical thinker. A little bit magical. All right, so cool stuff there. So well done to Best Talk there. That is pretty cool. I gotta say, covered this on a live show today because it's so damn cool. All right, cool, nice one. Yeah, we'll put the little smiley face. We see what I say there. I'll put that one there. It's not bad. All right, cool. And we got Sean in there as well. Nice one there, Sean. I always misspell it. It's a live show. I mean, come on. I don't know. It always comes out with something wrong in it. I don't know why. Anyway, so that's from Newsboys Paper Style. So there's also different ways that people are putting out these promo tablets, guys. They're going everywhere now. It's just gone crazy. Like at first they had like a mail list. Remember that? And now it's like going out everywhere, all places, which I think probably may end up more effective. I don't know. What do you guys reckon? Now, the only alternative would be if you knew all the most wealthiest people, like maybe all the millionaires in America. Was there 5 million millionaires? It was some time ago, yeah. So it's definitely a lot. So yeah, antique car restorations. Polskin's legend Dunamis there shared his uncle's restoration job for an antique 936 Packard. Let's have a quick look at this. We've got people doing all sorts of stuff. Look at this stuff, man. This is crazy. I love it. I love old cars. You guys love it? And look at that. That is badass. That's badass. The one thing that we've lost, and many of you guys know, is we've lost this beauty that we used to have in the early technological age with cars and buildings. They are just so beautiful, aren't they? And they're so human. I just love it. The curves and the style and the panache. Very, very neat there. So nice one there, Timothy. Awesome stuff. Awesome, yeah. Awesome. And so that's pretty cool. Nice work. And so let's get back into it. So we got like I said, we got so much stuff, cool stuff happening in the community stuff. We got some really cool stuff happening in the DeFi stuff. I mean, Pulse Chain is a really fun place to be. It's so much fun to go through it. 6 million hexagons, and of course we're back to another marketing, not just the iPads. One hex or to $1 hex has been airdropped to 6 million addresses. I think that must be about 7 million now because it's going up like a 1.1 million a day, guys. 1.1 million a day lately on these airdrops. So pretty cool to ETH highlight the Pulse Chain stats. How many more? How many more indeed? Pretty awesome stuff. Now I'm not sure we've got a little picture here, but we had some cool stuff here from Pulse Chain Stats, one of our top statistics sites. Very, very cool. And the wallet is tied to a Hex referral link that has been distributing Hex. So there we go. A mass marketing experiment. Yeah, very cool. So we've got the iPad promos at the moment, and we've got this Hex drop on EX. It's exciting times. Very cool. We've got Vouch staking pools. Now, Vouch, of course, one of our top two public Pulse validatings. They've just had a big upgrade with their staking pools, been upgraded and much requested. So that's a big deal. So you can see some of their cool images there, capital pools, standard pools, liquidity pools, and they've added another form of revenue there, which I think you can see in this one. Kind of cool. Woohoo. So token fees, capital pool, yield, validated pool. So some good stuff happening there with their flywheel. 3 ways to participate, capital pools. And then they've got standard pools. And then they've got LP pools. So there we go. Big value creation there. And as far as I recall, I think they're still the number one validator with about 9% of the validators, about 50,000. Still think they're up there. And then we got Validator X from was it Plus X? From what's this guy's name? It's almost in my mind. Haunted. That's it. Haunted there with Validator X. So we've got 2 big public staking pools. Pretty cool, badass. And that's a new product there from Vouch, which is pretty awesome. Very cool. So that's neat. Let's go back here as well. That's from Jexa, isn't it? Jexa is the Vouch guy. He's a fantastic communicator. If you've ever seen his communication stuff, loves the charts. You can see the charts, very cool. And also a very smart guy and well-respected Australian, community personality. We've got honourable mentions at the moment. We've got 369 here from Extrovert. He showcased a new complementary automatic DCA tool for his curve. Now, remember, the curve there is also using Switch API for the DEX aggregator there, which they've recently added, but he's doing a lot of cool stuff in here as well regarding the DCA, so big shout out to him. Kind of cool. We've got Crypto Coffee. We talked about that as well, arguably the biggest influence in the Pulse chain. She had a post of Sophia Salila, and let's have a look at this. She's some only fan models. Obviously, we're a PG channel. We don't really follow this stuff, but are now accepting Pulse chain. This is a pinnacle of blockchain technology. Bit of humor there, no doubt. Bit of humor there. Historic, revolutionary, even dare I say there as well. So there she is there. It's official. I now accept Pulse. So not something I really really endorse, but that is out there as well. It's something for everybody, I guess. Cryptographics gets Unity listed on CoinGecko. Which is a big deal, right? So that's kind of cool for Unity on Pulse Chain. It's paired with PulseX, remember? So it's kind of cool. And we've got Fat Sammy, one of our great OG influencers there, around also leading the council of Pulse Bitcoin. He's got his most honest opinion on Pulse Chain. So if you want to get he's pretty good with the stuff. His view on the Pulse Chain chart. So you can today he's got a nice little vlog here. With the show there, so big shout out to Fat Sammy. And then finally, Zerocast sings a beautiful song for Zero community. Listen up. So we've got all sorts of people doing stuff, and she's singing a great song there next to the fire, which is pretty cool. When's the last time you did something like that? You're at camp, you're a teenager, maybe you're an adult having a good barbecue with friends, but she's singing that crypto song there. Kind of cool. Coda's Law. So there we go. You can listen to that in your own time. There we go. Now, we also have huge teams on Pulse Chain. Like, these are massive, massive teams in the monster thread. We've got True DeFi. Massive growth milestone has been reached. We're going to talk about that. We've got Switch, of course. Switch, don't swap. That's from Brandon. So we've got Neil and Daniel there, an executioner with True DeFi. We've got Brandon with Switch, and it's great to see Switch in here. There's a new addition, so great to see Switch. Switch there is in with the DEX aggregating. So competition is heating up there. Very cool. We've got Emmett Farms, top farm on Pulse Chain, offering high APRs. Amazing. Just had their 1 year birthday. We're going to talk about that. We've got Heartwood Dog, season 2 inbound. This is exciting. Pulse Chain is so lucky because we've got our own anime series. Season 2 is coming for Pulse of the Fallen. Hog is the main character, so we're following there. Hero, of course, support the veterans and first responders. We've got the good non-profits on Pulse Chain there with the DAO. Every quarter they allocate profits from the trading there to the DAO and allocate that to veterans and first responders. So we've got all sorts of stuff on Pulse Chain. Top tier teams doing a lot of cool stuff, which is pretty awesome there. You can see some of the pictures from the Monster Thread News from the 2TFi team, and RhinoFi is in there too. So we've got two teams in there. And then we've got obviously Cool the Cars redone there, UK Singer, and of course getting iPad and then the Ice War. So a lot of cool things happening on the Pulse Chain. Let's quickly go through some of the awesome projects that are on Pulse Chain right now. We've got True DeFi, True2X. Now they have a couple of things, right? I'll get back to it. They have a 2x miner, so the idea that you get double your pulse within a certain period of time. And they've been doing some pretty good stuff. So they delivered another 2x distribution day, generating more than 1 billion pulse in yield for miners within just 83 days. How about that? Annualized APR equivalence of 870%. Amazing stuff there. They've been pretty cool. They've also had the excess of numerous 1XR miners combined with the effects of the 2x event, resulted in the removal of a substantial number of True DeFi shares from the mining pool. So you should really dig deep into the strategy around this. Pretty cool. Deposit activity remains robust with contract balances surpassing 31 billion pulse, providing continued capital to support the ecosystem operations, which they go and invest. So I kind of think it like a managed fund. And so approached on Pulse Chain, it's basically new. These guys have got great reputations. They've been doing a great job over the couple of months, and that's been pretty impressive so far. And of course, not only have they launched the 2x miner, but they've now launched DeFi to create that yield to put in to the 2x miner thing. So these guys are serious players, and they're also partnering with some of the greatest minds on Pulse Chain. And dare I say it, Karas. Come on, Karas, you're doing a great job. So that's kind of cool. We've got deposit activity remains robust with the contract balance surpassing 31 billion. The strategic reserve engine, this is the investment arm. So yeah, we have got our own internally created sort of managed fund or investor going around buying up quality assets in Pulse Chain. That's only a good thing and very cool. Now, this is an approach that some people like. They like this. They want this approach. They've been waiting for it. Maybe they don't want to do it themselves. They don't have enough time. There's lots of different reasons why this would be good for certain people. And so it's been pretty cool. Now, it continues to perform effectively, having secured and distributed over 8.5 billion pulse, guys, and externally generated revenue to miners. I mean, some great stuff happening here. These results demonstrate True DeFi systems are operating precisely as designed. True Farms has, this is, of course, their first DeFi, a fork of Emmet, and, of course, they've got their own yields on there. This is early days for them, so they've still got more partner projects going to be going on there, all sorts of stuff. True Farms has also maintained steady and substantial yield generation. Its single-side staking contracts currently delivering in excess of 200% APR, so they've been pretty impressive like that. Total value locked in True Farms now surpassed 600,000 as well. Very cool stuff there. Beyond individual users, institutional participants also realizing significant benefits there. RhinoFi, which is a third-party project, we've talked about them many times. They have a 28-day recharging treasury in buy and burn, has integrated its treasury into the True DeFi system and has achieved notable performance relative to the PLS benchmark. So third-party teams are benefiting a lot. I love this. Don't you love this stuff on Pulse Chain? Many of you may not know about this stuff, so it's great to be able to talk about it here. True DeFi tools have generated meaningful external cash flows, so very cool stuff happening here as well. They also have their own links. For positioning its treasury at current levels, RhinoFi is well placed to capitalize on its future appreciation as Pulse returns towards its sacrifice rate. Very cool. So some good stuff happening there, guys. All protocols are encouraged to evaluate how they might similarly optimize their treasury management and operate efficiency, leveraging the proven yield services offered by True DeFi. So if you're a team out there, definitely consider having a chat with Neil and Daniel with True DeFi team there. Pretty cool. We've got a video and all the cool stuff in there. Pretty neat, eh? I've got a little snapshot here too. Total pulse deposit, 370 billion pulse. That's all sources in there. And of course, look at that, pulse True, 1.5 billion in the day. Total miners 39,731. That mark's going to move around quite a bit. And of course, they have their auction system as well. Kind of cool. Look at that. Woohoo! So nice stuff happening there. We'll keep a track of their performance. Now, we've got the second one, which is new to the Monster Thread, is the Switch project from Brandon. Brandon, of course, a huge Pulse Chain influencer, Titanx influencer, but really has moved into being prolific developer team. So if you got a great idea, you don't know how to build it, they will build it for you. And they've done so many projects, haven't they? Now they've got their own flagship project called Switch. They obviously have Morpheus as well on Titanx, but they have Switch here on Pulse Chain. It is multi-chain, does Ethereum and base chain as well. No doubt they're going to expand that. But Switch is a secret weapon smart investors and traders are using right now. So obviously we saw Patia's going to be doing their upgrades. Switch is out with their new technology. People are loving it, guys. Liquidity on Pulse Chain is thin. Execution matters more than ever. If you're still swapping without an aggregator, you're literally leaving money on the table. A lot of people still do that as well. Switch routes across multiple dexes. Integrate intelligently split orders and gets you the way better fills for every single time. So you're really optimizing your return there in terms of the amount of tokens you're getting. Built for Pulse Chain from the ground up, no token, no nonsense, pure alpha. Switch has smashed 10,000. It must be way up high. It must be towards 15,000 now, and it's now gunning for 50,000 switches. Switches basically mean swats, but yeah, switches over swats there. Updated 7-day rankings just dropped as well. They drop that every week. They drop the top tokens that are trading through Switch. PDI crew is fighting hard. Now, one thing about PDI is, as you guys know, it's one of the what I call the titans on Pulse Chain. It's ones that are doing over $100,000 in daily volume, right? And so I remember there's about 8 or 9 of those. I get that data from Pulse Chain, Pulse Coin List. That's where we get that. And so yeah, not surprised. Their default drop down. Yeah, so presumably they were going to get it anyway, if you'd argue, if you ask me, because they're one of the Titan volumes on Pulse Chain there, and they got a pretty fanatic community and group of influencers supporting them. So switch.win is the website. If you want to go and use that, I would save it to your favorites because it is one of the top DEX aggregators now on the Pulse Chain and growing fast. Limit orders, they also added limit orders. Not only can you do spot buys, spot switches, you can do limit orders now. So we're getting sophisticated limit order services now with some of the blue chip protocols, and that's exciting, right? So you can feel pretty confident about that. Pro level offense, so you want to be on the offensive live on Pulse Chain rather than defensive there. With a limit order, you set the price. So if you're buying or selling, buy lower than market or sell higher. Pure offense for maximum gains. Stop losses are defense. So if you're thinking about stop losses, they're defense, but limit orders are how you stack the bags, right? So you really control that. So a defensive play or risk management using stop losses there. Switch brought professional trading tools to the blockchain, Pulse, Ethereum, and Base so far. No more excuses, time to level up your swap. So big shout out to Switch there and Brandon doing a great job. This is alpha projects, top tier projects on Pulse Chain. Switch is expanding rapidly. And I think in the middle of July last year, middle of March, they reached that 10,000 mark. They're going up very fast. This is exciting. So we've got lots of top tier stuff. As you know, last year I was saying I want this stuff on Pulse Chain. We need to mature. We're always going to have the pump and dumpers and the speculative stuff, pump ties, those sort of things. But we need these quality projects to anchor value to set that foundation for growth and take supply off the market, right, into quality stuff. So very, very cool. It's happening, guys. It's happening. Join a winners club there. Obviously, you can join up the Switch. And there is a couple of guides here too, by the way. Viva Finance and Influencer did a how-to guide. So you can check that. Also compares it to other DEX aggregators and DEXs. Shillgates also did a review as well. You can check that as well. Shillgates a top influencer in the chain there as well. Also does professional promotions for Pulse Chain projects. Very different category from what we do though. Follow up for Daily Alpha, Brandon, and of course Switch there. I'd give them a follow, guys, if you want to swallow them. Follow them on Switch, get all the latest. They are one of the king maker aggregators right now. Switch.win there, looking pretty good. So save that too. And you can see some of the cool stuff there. They've already had, currently at the moment on limit orders, got 360 total orders, 93 active. So it's going pretty good. What else they got there? They got the swap there. You can see that $1,000 a pulse buying X. That's on the Pulse Chain. You can just hit that button in the corner there, and it will swap between Ethereum and Base chains if you want to do it on other chains. And Switch there, looking pretty good. That there is the video from Shillgate, so you can watch that full video there. It's all in the monster thread, pretty cool. Now, I wanted to go quickly here to Brandon because he had a little update here I thought was really interesting. I just want to scroll down to that. So 5 hours ago, he posted the Switch limit orders. Someone set 10 limits, guys. So this is how some people are using the limit orders. Excuse me, they set 10 limit orders, and they all got filled flawlessly last night. Isn't that beautiful? So you're asleep, and you want to set limit orders. In this case, they did PCock buys. I'm not sure if it might be buy, might be sell, I don't know. But they put 10 orders, and it looks like all PCock Pulse, and that was all executed. How about that? Isn't that cool? I'm not sure whether they're buying or selling, but that was in play. Very cool stuff. So you can see powerful stuff, guys. Powerful stuff. Well worth checking out there. Now let's jump into so big shout out to Switch doing some really awesome stuff. Really awesome stuff indeed. Kind of cool. So what are we going? We've gone through the monster thread there. Let's just scroll down here. I think we're going to go down a bit further. Switch, we covered that. Where the other one's gone? They're not showing up right now, so we might have to go up there. That's kind of cool. What else? We've got 2DeFi. We've got Switch We've got Emmett Farm sitting there. I'm not sure why that's not showing up right now, but we've got Emmett Farm in there. And we've also got, let me scroll on here, scroll back to MVS. We've got Emmett Farm, here it goes. We've got Emmett Farm. You may see a few issues with the links the last 2 weeks, but a few issues with X. X is has a few issues. So it may appear and disappear and some things. So kind of some weird stuff going on. We've got Emmett Farm. So Emmett Farm is, arguably, I don't know, the top farm. There are a lot of great farms on Pulse Chain, so I don't want to be too. I think we've got Nexian out there and Functional and all lots of cool things out there at the moment. But Emmett Farm really crushing it with value and sustainable yield. So pretty cool. Triple digit APRs. So single sided staking there with Emmett is crushing it. Huge APRs. They're 97% earning ETH rewards. 116,000 so far in about a year. Isn't that crazy good? During a bear market too. Emmett core yield farms exploding, so you can use non-dynamic. So this would be static. You got dynamic yields here. So Emmett Pulse, 137%, Emmett PX, very, very cool. Now, whenever you're in the non-single side staking, you got impermanent lost issues to take into account. So you must, know what you're doing there. Not financial advice, that you participate in this as well. The special farms they've got going, we've got Vets and Hero, Rhino, Dark. So they're doing lots of partnerships in there, lots of pools. Very exciting. So there's something for everybody, guys. Emmett core yields, special farm yields. They've also got rich art cores in there as well. So you can do all sorts of yield farming, high APRs. Very cool. And there's lots of strategies you can do, combination between single-sided staking and dynamic yields as well. So lots of cool things. Now, one of the cool things they've launched recently is Farm Factory. And now this is, follows on not far from Nexian. Nexian launched Farm Factories as well. I think they might have been the original creators. But deploy your own staking empire and watch APRs go parabolic. You can create new farms. So if you're a team out there, or you've got maybe you're not even a team, you just want to do your own project, your rules, your liquidity, your gains, and you can actually incentivize your community with your tokens there. So they've got quite a few already, ZKP, Inc., etc., doing some cool stuff. Now, ZKP, of course, is from Kairos there, and you've got Emmett Farm Factory all. You can see all of the farms deployed there. Pretty cool. Some high APRs on those. We'll just quickly check that because it's kind of cool. It's on the farm. So normal farms up here, but then you've got the Farm Factory over here. That's what we're looking at, is the Farm Factory. Let's hopefully it renders. Sometimes it doesn't. Not for the site, but for when I'm live streaming, it seems to do it. Yeah, we got the TVLs in here. Look at that, and the APRs are looking real nice. Different projects, ZKP looking real good at the moment. Provex in there, Ink Token, all looking pretty amazing. Those APRs, awesome stuff. All right, now you will have to always balance out the amount of TVL in the pool relative to the APR, because if there's a small pool with a low allocation of yield tokens, then the APR can adjust down pretty quickly. If there's a big yield part with a big allocation, then it can be pretty healthy. Just remember all that sort of stuff. All right, kind of cool. But Emmett token, crushing it, and go check out the charts. It looks pretty damn good. And that's the Emmett contract there. Get into the social Emmett Farm. Now, remember, Emmett Farm offers airdrops. So if you get yourself registered, tell them that Superman sent you, and join up to Telegram there, and you'll get airdrops all the time from all the top projects. Pretty cool. Come back 6 months later and see how much it's worth, kind of thing. Or you can sell it every month, or just hold on to it and build your position. Lots of things you can do. Very, very cool. I got cool pictures there from Emmett Farm, cool video. We've got obviously the farm factories there. We got the the LP providing there for ZKP. Not bad for the farm factory. And everyone's happy at the old Emmett Farm. So including the farm girls. Kind of cool. Obviously, we've got the TKS in there as well. We've got Hog in there. So Hog Season 2 is coming, guys. Pulse Chain has our own anime series. I mean, you got to be, it's just a gift, isn't it? The gift that keeps on giving is Hog. Is igniting the green energy revolution. Pulse of the Fallen is unstoppable. We can't wait for Season 2. Now, funny enough, KDP's been away for a while, but KDP is now a big character in Season 2. And apparently, unfortunately, she's going to be tortured ruthlessly, but we know that something good's going to come out of it, because apparently she knows she's built different. So there's a video there of the dark moments. So you can check that out down the bottom. I think it's down the bottom here. There it is there. KDP getting tortured. Now, we're a PG channel, so you have to watch it in your own time. But definitely check it out. It's looking pretty good. This pain is compared to what's coming. She's fighting back, and the angels are right there with her. Pretty cool. Now, as you guys know, we've had probably a good half a dozen or more big influencers come to Pulse Chain than not Pulse Chain influencers. These guys have got hundreds of thousands to millions of followers. And Xavier is one of them, right? So Xavier's a big shout out to him. He's got his legendary angel characters. Now he's got, 515,000 followers now. So big shout out to him. So he's one. I think he's ranked in the top 2,000-3,000 influencers on X with 500,000 followers. So big shout out. And his legendary angels drop in hard. Xavier got the message. The whale showed up and Toothcraft's chains of subjugation about to get shattered. So it looks like KDP might get helped out there too. But there's going to be a big battle between green and red energy, just like there is on crypto Twitter or crypto X. So it's all happening as well. So it's going to be a lot of cool stuff happening in season 2. Familiar faces returning, new legends rising. Season is pure fire. So the main character is Hog, of course, and we'll see green energy win over red energy there, I'm sure. So kind of cool. And of course, the Hog token is trading there on Pulse Chain as well. Definitely join up to the socials. Get involved if you love anime and cartoons and manga. This is the place to be. We are so lucky on Pulse Chain to have it. The story covers a lot of Pulse Chain influencers as characters, as well as celebrities out there. It's really, really fun, and we're seeing more influencers get pulled in to the story. It is pretty awesome stuff there. You got to love it. It's looking pretty good there. Season 2 trailer, and there's Hog there with his green energy. You got to love that main character. And of course, we got all the ladies. Look at the ladies, Pulse Chain influencers here around Xavier in the chair. Very, very cool, including SJ Wild and many others. Pretty awesome stuff going on there. So great story and great animation. So big shout out to the Hog team, doing a great job. Very cool. Right. We also have one more in here too, I think. Let me scroll down. We've got one more as well. Just going to look for that. Where's that gone? We've got one more in here as well. Final. Just trying to see where that is. We'll have to come. We'll come back to that tomorrow. Maybe we'll cover that tomorrow. But that's the Monster Thread, guys. It is out. Number 48. 48 weeks of the hottest news of Pulse Chain. You can see the community is up to all sorts of good stuff. Promotions are going out. We got iPads. We got X airdrops. We got massive Frontier DeFi. We got massive re-rating. I mean, look at some of the stuff we had this week, guys. LibertySwap rolling out more alpha products. Now making it, sharing it to all these other project teams, both on Pulse Chain and non-Pulse Chain. Liquidity building up. It is awesome stuff. We've got Ramp now opening up to all the markets, 40 countries, Asia opening up with fiat on-ramp to Pulse Chain. Fantastic stuff. We've got, Brandon with the Switch rolling out a new big heavyweight DEX aggregator offering great value. It is exciting times and much, much more. You can see many of the other DeFi teams really are doing their thing, offering really unique DeFi products. So community's on fire. DeFi's on fire. We're possibly, arguably, at the bottom of the market. We will see. It's certainly looking good. ETH and Bitcoin are one top performers. Pulse Chain, it's going to have its day in the sun. There will be a bottom. The Pulse Chain is growing. Developers are growing. We've got some of the world's best developers. It's exciting. And we've got many others we haven't talked about for some time. A lot of them will be waiting for the market to turn. We're thinking of the Jacobs of the world, Stu of the worlds, people like that with a whole ton of top-tier DeFi suites and oracles and, casinos, stable coins, all coming to the Pulse Chain. And I know Fast Abdul's out there looking for a good time to launch his ones as well. So lots of cool things happening coming down the line, and we'll be talking about all those when they come due, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. 2.5 hours. What? I'm supposed to do an hour show. You guys are bad. You guys are bad out there, keeping me going. Nah, it's so much fun, guys. We're having a good time, and look forward to it. It's going to be really exciting. So if you love the daily shows, let me know in the comments. Really love your feedback there. If you want me to do some things, tweak little things here and there, let me know as well. Constructive feedback's always welcome. Trolling is never welcome, of course. Constructive feedback's fine. And of course, here we are, the Kryptonite Show. Not only doing live streams, but we're doing a hottest publication on Pulse Chain with the Kryptonite Show. But we're out there every day working hard and playing our part and having a lot of fun. And of course, we're waiting for the bull market ahead. It's going to be a beautiful, sweet thing. It is looking very good indeed. V recovery, man. It's coming. V recovery. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.